This week, Harry and I got the chance to sit down with the one and only Veno to talk about all things post global championships. We asked him about his thoughts on the GOAT debate, where he currently ranks not only himself, but some of the other great players in the world, as well as some juice about what's happening with him in trios. He gave us some exclusives about who he's playing with, some people he could be playing with, and what else is going to happen in the world of trios. So check that out now, right? The talk of the town after globals was, oh my goodness, Peter Bot is the best player we've ever seen. A lot of people now are saying this is our GOAT. There is nobody. He is the debate. That's what people are saying right now, Benno. It used to be you, but he's the debate now. What do you think of the current status of the GOAT debate? Is Peter Bot now that guy for you in number one? Where do you sort of have him? Like, what are your thoughts around the GOAT debate right now?
I mean, I think he's in like fifth, to be honest, and that's perfect for him. It's
Who's
like
above him?
okay, who's above him? Obviously, the big top three, and I'd say either Queasy or Cammy in fourth.
Interesting. Why isn't he above Queasy and Cammy for you right now?
I
Because a
mean,
lot of people I think would have him there.
Queasy's got like 4 seconds, maybe 5. I can't remember. He has like 4 seconds and 3 FNCS wins. Like the longevity matters more to me. Like winning like a lot during 1 year, okay, like that's insanely impressive. Maybe you are one of the best players we've ever seen, prime wise. But like compared to these other guys who have 5, 6, 7 FNCS wins who've been doing it since day one. Maybe when the competition wasn't as fierce, but you have to still value it. And that's why I think he's in fifth right now. I think if he wins 1 or 2 more next year, like he is very, very, very close to being like the undeniable number one. I think if he
Right.
wins one straight away next year, he's getting put into fourth. But also, you have to take into the fact that he did win all of these with straight mythics.
Right.
First, his first FNCS win, and then like he done it for a while. He had Mythic Org,
Yeah. Or what the mid map spot in chapter
yeah,
3.
the
Yeah.
gas station, and like next to the thing. Like
Yeah.
he had a Mythic Org, and then he had 3 straight mythics again. Like yeah, I know, like in the game when you land at them, and that's perfectly fine. But you do have to take that with a grain of salt. That without the like, pros are thinking this. If there's no mythics and or like no objectives, what are they gonna do? Because that's their entire game plan is based around getting these objectives.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And there was something interesting you said there about Peterbot's prime. I feel like on Twitter a lot now is people debating when your prime was as a player. Like, when was your prime? When were you at your peak? What do you actually believe for yourself?
Uh, like chapter 3. Chapter 3 was my prime. They just every season doing absolute work. Whether we won or not, I was putting in absolute work.
With Archie?
Yeah, with Archie.
Without cheese,
I think that's why I fell off a bit because I stopped playing with him, still grinding with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring him back.
yeah, he definitely he wants to come back. Yeah, that boy's needs some onion.
Yeah.
No, I think my prime isn't even 6 out of 12. My prime is invitational. Leading
Mm.
up to invitational, that was my prime. I'd never played better than leading up to invitational.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, again, it's just a typical thing in Fortnite. I'm trying to make an effort to like eradicate this or to fight against this now, where it's like, it's very easy for people to go, oh, it must be 6 out of 12. That was like your best FNCS win, right? In terms of like it doesn't get better than that
That
for
was
you.
just
So
the
that
easiest.
must have been your prime, right? But again, in terms of your individual level, yeah, I'd say leading up to Invitational around that time was probably like the most unkillable you've been in terms of just absolute
Yeah,
machine.
the 6 out of 12. I just like. I mean, I still felt prime that I even 1v2 like teams like Jerky and like Verdoxy. Like I just felt like our plan worked really, really well, and it allowed me to do the best of what I can do.
Right.
And every time I dropped down, I dropped kills.
Yeah.
And whereas in the invitational leading up, like we won like 4 cash scripts in a row, EU, NA, the region didn't matter, we were winning it. And
It's
I felt really good at an individual level.
it's interesting, right? Because obviously, we mentioned some names there in the sort of GOAT debate, right? And of course Peter Bot's name is going to be thrown in there. The general consensus I've seen nowadays is a lot of people are like Peter Bot stands who are now just like Peter Bot, Peter Bot, Peter Bot, it's Peter Bot. And outside of that, I'm mostly seeing a lot of people default into Booger and Miro and having that conversation. And so I want to know from you, and as an EU fan, is it weird seeing less Tayson in that conversation? Do you feel like it's valid now that it seems like the general casual consensus is moving a bit away from Tayson as being like the GOAT of the game? And maybe again that's a bit NA skewed because a lot of the places I'm looking, it's more NA people talking, right? But generally, do you feel, especially as someone who played with him and probably played with him in his worst year of his career, like, do you feel like he still deserves to be in those conversations? And how do you sort of think about him there?
I think like you said with the NA, like a lot of the people saying it are from NA, and it's just the fact that Booger streamed his like FNCSs. Like I don't know how much he streamed, but like he streamed like even if he didn't play FNCS, Miro, Reverse, and they all stream their FNCSs. That always adds to it. And like I think if I stream FNCSs, I'd be higher on the GOAT debate because you just see a lot more. Like you see those Peterbot clips of 200 and everybody. Right, that's not like I know like it's a really good clip, but like that happens to all of us. You get those
Right.
clips, and it's just the fact that we don't clip it, we're not streaming. Like I don't clip anything anymore. I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
And
it's the fact that like, you never got to really see
the
much of
primes,
Tayson in his prime.
yeah,
Yeah, like when Tayson was winning everything, you were seeing the odd video here and there when he'd switch on his stream for a day and get unmotivated and switch it off, right? Like you never were actually seeing him
yeah.
as consistently as you probably were
Like
seeing
even
a
in the
lot of those other people.
Mongrel Metro season, Tayson didn't stream. They were streaming. He didn't stream.
Yeah.
It
Right,
was
so
just
you're
never
seeing his
about that
POV
streaming thing.
left. Yeah.
And like that's why I think like he's not more talked about. Also because I think those guys have more like Tayson's has a lot of mystique. And like that's a good thing if you can find his content. If you can't find any content.
I
Can't watch
think
anything on Tayson.
do you now feel though like it's because the thing as well for Miro and Booger now that they have over him, or not now because they've had it over him for a while, but like they obviously have significant land wins, and
Yeah, he
Tayson hasn't
doesn't
had
have
that
any
land
land.
performance.
Yeah,
He doesn't have that land
land
performance. I think it really also hurt him going to NA and having the bad season he had there
Yeah.
because that was his opportunity to show a lot of NA fans, oh great, no, maybe this guy actually is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't quite that. So I think that's hurt him a lot there.
Yeah, for sure.
I no doubt.
I wanted to ask because you haven't said a single name for the GOAT. Who is your GOAT or the GOAT for you?
For me, I honestly don't have an answer. I don't think any of them have it. I don't think any of them have that claim to be number one.
Like the undisputed guy.
Yeah, there's no
everyone,
undisputed. I don't think there's an
and
undisputed.
and that's fine
I think Peterbot's gonna be the GOAT.
when it's all said and done.
You don't
It's all
think
said and done.
you don't think the train's gonna stop? He's gonna just go to trios and he's gonna dud. You just think
He's
it's
too
gonna continue?
retarded. There's no like he's got. I don't think unless he starts talking to some e-girls or something like that, I don't see him going to a place where he's not going to keep placing. His aura's too much on that region. They're too scared of him.
No. Okay, I mean that's valid. I'm with you on the train of like I've been spending a lot of time thinking about it genuinely because you have to rate different things and different people like really differently. I feel like there's different criterias that different people have to fill and you have to like try weigh it up and get it. There's names in that hat. I'm at the point right now where I'm like not set on anybody in particular. There's just a couple people there that could take it from me. One thing I will say that doesn't get enough credit or gets talked about enough in Fortnite, and I think it's just because you see it in a lot of other games. It's a much bigger deal, and it needs to be made a bigger deal of in Fortnite. The fact that certain people like a Tayson and Queasy, it applies to Queasy as well, have been able to win and find so much success not playing in their native language is like insane. And I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is in Fortnite because it doesn't get made that big of a deal in Fortnite. And I actually went back and looked at this because I was like, I feel like there's a bigger correlation here that doesn't get drawn. When you look at the previous, obviously in NA, everyone's speaking English, right? So, NA fans never even have to think about that. If you look in EU, last year, Malibu and Stash win. They're both speaking the same language. They're speaking Russian. Suzy and Vanya win. Both speaking the same language. Vico and Flixie win. Speaking German. If you look at chapter 4, Creature and Suzy win, right? Speaking the same language. And you have Queasy and Veno, who obviously win. Queasy speaking English, it's not his first language. Then you have Tayson Mustache win. Tayson wins, not speaking his first language. We go to chapter 3. There's another person here who's obviously won again. Aqua and Veno. Aqua not speaking his first language. He wins with Veno. Well, Veno's popping up here. The third season of that year, Janice and Vidil win, speaking German. Hen and Queasy win the first season of that chapter. Queasy again winning, not speaking in his native language. Even if you go back to chapter 2, we're going. You see what's happening here? Like most people who are winning FNCSs and doing consistently well have the benefit of getting to speak in their native language. And I think maybe it doesn't get highlighted enough because some of the all-time greats have been able to do it consistently, like the Queasies and the Taystons of the world. But for the most part, like that should be something, and that is something that now I actually rate super highly. Of like. These guys were winning and he didn't even get the chance to play. Queasy did get a chance to play in his native language with some really good players and he won, right? Playing with Trulex and Druiki, whatever. But like someone like Tayson at his peak, there wasn't always like a very obvious, this is a Balkan trio you can play with or Balkan duo you can play with who's actually going to be good enough for you to win an FNCS. And yet he was still able to win FNCSs. And that to me, super, super impressive. So that's the latest thing of the GOAT debate that I'm sort of like, actually, maybe I got to skew this a bit higher. Obviously, you get to speak English because you're from here, so you've never really had a problem.
One language, Andy.
Language, Andy. You play with whoever, and it works. And to be honest, outside of if you go to NA, there's just not many English people. Like no matter what, you're playing with someone speaking on their second language for the most part. Because UK Fortnite's not been too great in recent years. Yeah, there's not great options there for
Pink
you.
fell off.
He's coming back though.
The old UK goats are coming back. Don't worry, Astra, ADN, Michael, they're all coming back to the game.
Coming to my house in an hour. They're all coming back.
Yeah, they all coming back playing now.
Oh, wow. I mean, I've seen ADN play, but especially with you.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they're goated duo, you know.
Yeah, the goated duo no more. Unfortunately, you snaked me. But anyway.
Oh wow. I've been seeing that squad has been going. That squad's been happening.
Yeah, they've been cooking. But yeah, we touched on it a little bit there. Trios. We're now going into trios, obviously with the announcement. How's trios going for you? What are the options looking like? What is
Give us the juice.
Yeah, what is the juice? What's been happening?
Give us the exclusive. FNtasia exclusive.
Like I had plenty of options. I could have played with anyone I wanted. Right now, like I'm locked in with Queasy, and like we're trying to find one. And that one at the moment is Pixie. Like we're gonna be playing Tro Cash Ups with him. We're gonna be playing Rival Rock with him, and like we're just gonna see what that's about. I read that works very well for me. I like the role that Pixie's playing and the role that I'm playing. Of course,
can you talk about those roles a bit?
Well, of course, Pixie's playing. I think in my head, like I don't know if they've been sorted out yet, but obviously Queen's are gelling. I can give comms, I can frag, I can take over top if needed, and those are my roles. And of course, get max surge. And then Pixie's role is that to get a decent amount of surge and be able to come out with that kill out of thin air, or like when we got for high ground, he needs to be able to kill people. It's like that type of role, and like be able to stand on me whilst I lead the refreshes.
Right. Okay.
And my other options, I mean, maybe I can move to NA and play with Peterbot. You never know.
Okay.
That could be a thing.
Is that appealing to you? Because they said they need just a tarper. He's looking for someone who's just going to tarp.
It did sound like you were advertising yourself to Peterbot on Twitter, where you were saying that basically who is it? You're saying wasn't their best option.
I mean, to be honest, I'm the most obvious option. They know that. Like they've even said that to me. Like you're the most obvious option for like a bunch of these things. But like I'm the most obvious option. So I don't think they should play with Booger. They probably should play with someone else. Not even me. I think they should play with someone else.
Why don't you think they should play with Booger?
Booger's just mid. It's like he just. Of course, he's one of the goats, but like at this moment in time, he's mediocre at everything.
You sound like a FNtasia host right now,
You do. You sound like the four of us.
You're fitting right in. Yeah, you're fitting right in, mate.
Killing people, mediocre. Tarping, to be fair, I'd say like he's actually like a decent tarper, but like I don't know, a decent tarper, and that's something you need for Trio. So we'll say that. We'll have to see him what he's like now. Decent tarper. No knowledge about how to play high ground. None. Not that good at getting surge or putting them into positions where you can get surge. Not that good at picking POIs. I mean, I guess he's only be picking, so it's kind of pointless. No. He's not the picker of that team. What else can I even say? He just got nothing about high ground. Like this makes no sense for the way they play the game. He's got no height knowledge, nothing. And I feel like it's going to be more about. Whereas normally it's like the IGL teaching the players how he wants them to play. It's going to be the players teaching the IGL how they want him to play.
Right. Yeah, I did wonder what the dynamic would be there in terms of just like they want a Tarpa who maybe can input with some
frags.
Igilin, who can impact frag. Like they want, again, I'm not even trying to glaze it. They want someone in your mold, someone who can top, who can help with Igilin when needed, since he's not playing with Poyo anymore, and Poyo used to help him out with Igilin a bit, and Cold's not going to help him with Igilin at all. So you need someone who can input with some comms, and someone who can keep up with them free fragging. There's not many people who can fill all of those things, and I definitely think, like, again, you know, there's people who maybe give you some of those things and not others, but yeah, I get you maybe want to play with them. Anybody else? Would you play with anybody else right now? Is it just, you know?
I think if I'm not playing with Peterbot, I'm gonna play with Queasy.
Okay. Nothing with like Acorn or nothing like that. Nothing cooking up there. Or...
he wants me to come 10A, but I just like, oh Poyo, I don't want to play. I just like.
What, is Poyo not that guy, or what? What are you saying?
I mean, they think he's that guy. I think he's a crazy player, but like he literally plays my role. It doesn't make any sense to me to go for him to play my role. I don't want to just solely frag. I feel so limited. That's literally just me holding. It's like me playing with Tayson.
I was about to say, yeah. Do you think Peterbot make the right decision with Poyo then? Do you think Poyo could not have just become a Tarpa?
Depends who he picks up after. That's what I gotta say.
Okay,
if he picks up you, then yes.
Yeah, of course he's made a good decision.
Okay, but they can't play with you.
Yeah,
and that's not gonna happen.
They struggled with damage a bit. You won't struggle with it. You won't struggle in a grand if I'm on your team, right? Doesn't matter what type of surge it is. Doesn't matter if 10 teams in the lobby are trading. I'm getting enough damage.
I mean, you said it there. The whole trading thing. Well, there's a lot of conversation going around at the moment.
Before we get to that, though, I don't want to actually get to that yet. Before we move on to that, I want to stay on the trio things for a bit, because you obviously are playing with Queasy again, right? And that's sort of like your main option here in EU. And I remember the first thing I said to you when I found out was like, "What? Like, why? Like, you guys are my guys. I loved, you know, you two playing with each other. But by the end of that, obviously, you had that season where you didn't qual grands, you split up, or you dudded a bit at globals, dudded to your standard at least, right? You came like 11th or something. 11th, and then you guys split up, and again, without going into too many details, from someone who was around, the relationship was not in a good place around the time you split up, and it was the right decision for you guys to split up. So for me, I was like, why have you guys just ran to play with each other again straight away?
Because we found our love back for each other during the time we were apart. You never had that ex that you miss?
You know what? Okay, yeah. God, no, that's a fair point.
I almost played with him whilst I was playing with Tayson. I mean, not almost. I was DMing.
I do remember that.
I didn't almost play with him.
Oh like, my!
I was DMing Queasy on Snapchat like one day before FNtasia starts to come back.
There's no way.
Yeah. I remember that.
Wait,
so is that what it is then? It's like you guys being apart, your relationship actually got better from being like apart, and like you guys are.
I don't know if it was ever that bad. Our relationship wasn't bad. It was just like when we played together on a comp team, it was just like things were just tough a bit. It started to get tough.
So what's different?
Whenever we talked as friends, everything was fine. Now, like, we just play scrims. I don't know, like, what's gonna be like when we're playing tournaments. But when we play scrims, like, we're on the same wavelength, everything.
Okay.
I like we both understand the game the same.
Yeah, that is interesting, because from an outside perspective, obviously we didn't hear everything that happened when it came to the Queasy thing, but seeing you guys get back together, obviously it gives the fans hope that, you know, obviously
love.
For the 6 out of 12, you know, bring it back. Like, what are your expectations going into a play if you're playing with Queasy? Is it just you to be dominant, be the best, or is it just taking it slow at the start?
I forgot what you said. I was thinking about it.
Oh my days! Expectations with Queasy going in. Going in with Queasy.
He thinks we can win 2 this year, at least 2, maybe 3.
Okay. Put yourself back in the GOAT debate.
I think we can win. I think I can win all 3. I think if I'm fucking grinding, I don't think there's a player on this earth who can stop me. I'm about that life.
What's the GOAT debate?
Who can stop me?
I
am the debate.
Yeah.
I am the debate. If I won those 2 seasons, I am the debate.
Bro, you need a land win, broski. It's more about the land win for you. You get a land win. You get an FNCS next year.
We've had a second.
And
Oh.
a second ain't good enough, unfortunately. It came down to one war, broski. Came down to
Oh.
one war.
Oh, why? We literally talked about this the other day and you're bringing it up again.
I'm sorry, bro. I had to mention
Such
it, bro,
a
at least
piece of
once.
shit.
I had to mention it once, bro. You can't blame me, bro.
That's weird.
Okay, who cares
That's
about
weird
land
from you,
wins?
11.
Who cares about land wins?
Oh, yeah. Who cares about that? He gets out his bloody Rolex. All right, man. All right, bro. All right.
Bro, what happened to the old Veno? You just grinded for the love of the game. Now
You know
it's
what I
about
mean?
Rolexes.
No, it's all about money and Rolex.
Yeah.
Man. You changed, man. You
I did
really have
change.
changed. No, I'm optimistic for you guys next year. I think like for you getting an FNCS win again during one of the majors and then like a really good globals performance, if not
You'd
globals
see
win,
shit talk Veno back.
would be.
You'd see shit talk Veno back. I'd start shit talking everyone. That's what I miss. Can't talk now. Can't talk.
So you're a bit jealous of Peter. So you're seeing the way Peter
Yeah.
shit talks everyone.
Nah,
You're a bit
did I say
jealous of
to
that.
did I say to you yesterday like what I thought of people? Like when he won game 12, right? And I saw him go and pick up the trophy, like me and him were locking eyes for like 10 seconds, right? And like I was the only pro clapping, and in my head I was just passing over the torch. I was like, wow, I'm just done.
Bro thinks he's him.
I'm so
Bro thinks he's the main character passing the torch, broski.
yeah, passing the torch. Like, that was just a final passing. He won three in a row. Here you go, bro. You deserve it. I ran so you. I walked so you could run.
So you could run.
Yeah. I walked.
Damn, that's real. That's real.
But it's time for me to run again.
Yeah.
Just go find some good neighbors, and you're in the next grand final, so you can get some surge on.
So we don't league. True Lex crazy vibes.
True
Lex Asen vibes.
It's the Balkans. It's the theme of the Balkans. What I'm seeing it.
I'll just see you and Trulex in the same landing spots or just next to each other. I'll know what's happening.
Sure.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us today, man. I appreciate you as always for your insights, and hope to talk to you again soon, brother. Good luck next year.
Appreciate you.
Good
Thank you,
luck,
bro. 3 out of 3.
We'll see it. Praying.
I'm hoping.
Praying. Another question of the week. This week's question of the week. A bit of a fun one. What is the worst excuse your duo partner has ever made for dying? There was some good responses here. Some very, very good responses. Lots of people clearly don't know how to take accountability, is what I learned. Because some of the excuses I hear, absolutely wild. One of my favorite ones were, what's the worst excuse your duo has ever made for dying? I thought I was playing zero build. He only plays when I play, and we have never played zero build ever. Like, he's just stood there, just not building, getting sprayed 200 hours. Like, yeah, I thought I was playing zero build. You know what I mean? Like, what?
I mean, there are excuses that is about as low as it gets, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm pretty sure, at what point do you realize you're not playing zero build? Because surely off spawn, like, you have to realize off spawn, like, you know, you're building or you're actually farming materials. It's just, you didn't farm anything, you didn't get any mats. Like, that might be the worst excuse I've heard. That actually might be there.
This would make more sense if it was the other way around. Like, I played so little zero build that when I jump in, I have the muscle memory. Someone shoots me, still try and like place a wall or something.
Yeah.
Right,
so it'd be like,
right.
oh, I thought we were playing build. But to say I was playing zero build, this is that is one of the worst.
Trust me, Harry, this was not one of the worst answers you've ever seen. A lot more is coming. I have nothing to say about that one, but I got the next one. What's the worst excuse your duo has made for dying? This is probably the worst excuse. I farted the wrong way, and the trajectory of the fart changed the air pressure in my room, making me disoriented, which is why I ran the opposite way of the tarp into storm and died.
I feel like that was never ever said.
That was not
said.
That guy was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be so funny here. This is. I'm a comedian.
And
clearly.
unfortunately, he failed because that was
unfortunately, he failed.
That was not funny, bruh.
But he got it read out at least. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
That guy.
This one came from pro player Trippin, who, as we know, used to play with Thomas, and he said one of Thomas's excuses that he used to always say was, "If I just had a gold pump every game, I wouldn't lose a fight." I mean, if my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Oh,
It's the
bloody
classic.
classic.
It's
But I think this is how everyone looks at like P1 Poyo. It's like if I just had their loot, I'd win every tournament. I just win every tournament if I had their
In
loot.
that case, it would be true though. Like obviously.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
The one
obviously.
for that one is always just like, dude, if they just bring back 200 pumps, man, like I'm gonna make it, man. Like a solo tournament, I get bad teammates because I have no placements. Like bring it back, and I'm just gonna dominate, man. Historic season, yeah, that's my time. That's my time.
It's
It's
the
not happening.
classic, like it's the classic. You know, when we've had this conversation on the pod before. It's like, yeah, man, but if you just gave me like the best PC, 0 ping, 360 hertz, like I'd just be like Mira and Cooper and win globals. You know, it's like that's what everyone seems to believe. At least that's what everyone seems to believe.
Yeah. All right. What is the worst excuse your duo has made for dying? My leg cramped mid FNCS in game and hit the top of my desk and sent my keyboard. What a fun way to die.
See, that actually I could see happening. That one I could actually, if you just,
That's valid.
that would be the most painful thing. Like mid-rotate, you're like focused on the rotate, you just cramp up halfway through.
What do you think is the worst gaming injury someone's had playing Fortnite? Like what is like that? What is the injury you would get?
Surely it's wrist or elbows or anything like along there. Like, but that's not the worst, but that's like just the most common. Everyone just like their wrists just fall apart.
Probably
Maybe
someone's
just,
punched their screen and
I was
like,
gonna say,
and, like
Yeah.
ripped their hand apart on it or something.
like raging and like smacking your hand down or
Breaking
something.
your hand,
Yeah.
breaking like your fingers. Or
You
whatever,
reckon the
yeah.
controller players ever just like chuck their controller, but like at their toe? So like they've just like just, do you know what I mean? Like
It just
something
bounces
crazy
off
like
the
that,
wall,
I
hits
don't
in
know.
their own head again or something.
It's something
Yeah,
crazy.
little.
Maybe throw it up, you know? Into
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
ceiling.
yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. What's the worst excuse your duo has made for dying? I got distracted because my dad turned on the lights.
Yeah, that's valid.
That is valid.
I mean, that's valid, but if your teammate's just milked and that's what he tells you, you're fuming. Do you know what I
You're
mean?
fuming,
It's
but
like-
it's fair. You're completely out the flow state. You're just like you're locked in. You're in endgame, and there's just the brightest lights just around you halfway through. It's just like you're no longer locked in. You're just
Come on,
looking at
man.
your dad like, what are you doing?
It's
and
not like
just...
it's a flashbang, bro. You know what I mean?
No, it
It's
is.
like-
It is a
For
flashback.
Fortnite player, it is,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? It's like,
Yeah. I mean, if you've got like the curtains closed, it's a full pitch black room, and you're just getting flashbanged mid moving, like it's actually unplayable.
It's also when you have someone behind you. I just can't. I personally can't play if someone's like behind me, or I like if I'm doing something and someone's like walking behind me. Like I have to close everything. Like, what are you doing, man? Like I can't. I can't
What
have
kind of tabs
that
do you need
happening.
open while you're playing the
Yeah,
focus?
I
man?
gotta
Yeah.
hide all the tabs. Yeah.
Mm.
Have you seen the ASMR compilations?
Hmm.
What is the worst excuse your duo has made for dying? I just wanted to eat my food.
that's
That's a
valid.
good
comes from
excuse.
Ryan.
That's fair, that's
Super
fair,
valid.
that's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
use that excuse every
Eonzo
cash cup.
apparently.
Yeah. I literally used that. I used that excuse last Reload Cup. I'm pretty sure we were playing Reload squads like 2 weeks ago, and it was like before endgame. I was like, I've got my food next to me. I just went and keyed a squad 1v4. I was like, you guys can play the endgame. It's fine. You guys can deal with it.
Yeah, no, that's 100% valid. What's the worst excuse your duo has ever made for dying? He said I got sniped when snipers weren't in the game. Like, bro just insta died and it's like I must have got sniped. You know what I mean? It's like, it must have. It's the only possible way I could have died in 1 second. You know?
That has to be. That's a better excuse than saying a cheater killed you. Surely, just say you got sniped.
It's like snipers.
That's the number one excuse though. Every single time, dude, he's cheating, man. He's cheating.
He's gotta
My brother
be.
just
Yeah.
didn't build. You know, like yeah. Here's my last one. What's the worst excuse your duo has ever made for dying? Bro, I'm about to shit myself. I have to shit myself. I gotta go. And this is not the only person, apparently. There's about 5 people that said something similar that they had to go take a shit mid end game. So, eat more fiber, I guess.
No, but, like, surely-
less fiber,
Less, yeah, less fiber.
Less, but like a little bit of preparation, you know. Surely before the game you realize this. Surely it's not like it's just instant during the game. It's like, oh yeah, now I need to go.
You've actually reminded me of what the worst one that DJ died from. This was actually in a solo cash cup. I was thinking it was not a shit related one, but he basically he goes out. His toilet is like outside of his house. I don't know why. I think there's one upstairs and there's one
Probably saves
outside.
money.
Yeah, I probably more than likely. Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, I've just got a piss," and it was like 5th zone. We're boxed up in like a duo cash cup game. He's like, "I've got a piss," and he just leaves. I was like, "What?" And then obviously we just get keyed at that exact moment. so then we both die, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "You went, man. You left me alone here." So yeah,
That's unreal.
That's how you know Fortnite players aren't real gamers. In other esports, people just pee in bottles, from what I've heard.
I know, man.
And they just got like a stash hidden right beneath their desk. Like, I know it's horrible, but legitimately, there's been stories of like CS:GO players doing that shit. So
crazy. I just realized that wasn't an excuse. That was just a shit reason to die.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well about some of these that are funny. Like, some of these are like, when you think about them as like the excuse of their death, like they were just playing normally, they just died, and like as the excuse, they were like, "Well, yeah, it's because I needed to shit," you know, something like that. You know, it's like where it makes it worse. Where it's like with the shitting one though, I see that, man. There's nothing worse than like having that feeling of like I need to go now.
The
you know what I mean?
urgency.
Like
I've done this hypothetical before, but like most people, I've done like you're playing FNCS, right? Game 12 in FNCS. You have the choice between shitting your pants or winning FNCS. Are you committing to it?
I mean, can you really piece up someone with a shit loaded? You know,
I don't know. Like, it's
That's like-
going, yeah.
this is going really grim. all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'll say the listeners are probably loving hearing this.
well, yeah, thank God for them. They don't know what the visuals are like on this section of the podcast. If you're not
Yeah.
listening right now, yeah.
The diagram and everything, man. Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I got one more. One final one from me. What is the worst excuse your duo has made for dying? He said, "My ping is too high. We both live in Dallas." It's like, well, just know you're lying, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what do you mean your ping's too high, bro?
Yeah, that's
on
class.
the server.
It's lagging, man. It happens.
The difference between 0 and 1 ping is too much.
What is your most commonly used excuse? I think mine has to go with it didn't build. You know,
Mine's
when you're like,
big.
why can't I build
Yeah,
there?
I use that one.
I put a wall
Yeah,
there, man. I put a
I
wall
put a
there. Like,
wall,
how'd you
yeah.
shoot me?
He shot me through my ramp. No, I didn't.
My
I didn't,
waste
bro.
is it's just 0 ping. No matter what, no matter how I die, I can get lobby sprayed. It's like if I'm 0 ping here, I just don't die. Like it's just guaranteed. Every death is just about ping.
Yeah, anytime I want to go on Harry, all he says if I win a round is, "My bad, I don't live in London." And I'm like, what?
It is my bad, actually. It is my bad. Like I'm on 30 ping and you're on 0. It's just my bad, actually.
I've got the classic one was I wasn't trying. That's one I use all the time. But if I was trying in this fight, bro, like I'd actually be doing it, but like I just didn't care enough to try, you know?
That's the
your
creative
full-
classic.
Yeah, that's also your full solo cash cup anthem as
True.
well.
Hey, I
You
tried
sing that
yesterday and
song.
I qualified both regions,
Just
you know?
I've not tried all year, honestly. I didn't play every solo cash cup. Didn't try though. If I tried though, I'd earn. You know,
The ones he qualified, he tried it.
Yeah,
I did. I
Yeah.
mean, look what
Conveniently.
happened. Yeah.
Conveniently.
Next week I might not try. We'll see.
Just see what the outcome is and then decide.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go about it. Well, welcome back to another episode of the FNtasia podcast, FNtasia podcast, whatever you want to call it. We are on episodes 24. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. That's Kobe number. I actually had a stat that I had found about podcasts, and I was going to read on episode 20 because it's relevant to episode 20, and I forgot, but I've remembered it now. And apparently, only 0.5% of podcasts ever make it past episode 20.
Dang.
And we have made it to 24. So
unfortunately, we're still
flying.
being beaten by the Hawk Tour podcast. So.
No, it's unfortunate.
we are still number 2.
They're at DreamHack and we are not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Should've been a
What is
Fortnite
she
tournament
doing
there.
at DreamHack? You know,
Bro, just don't answer the question. Don't answer that question, bro. You asked the wrong
She's
one for that title.
she's talking to her fans.
she's talking to her fan. Wow. Wow.
You got it.
Inspirational.
Yeah, you like that?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think the conversations are like? I mean, just
I've listened
before,
to it.
Obviously, we're
Oh, yeah.
shit talking
You're an avid
go.
listener.
You know, every Saturday or whatever it comes out, I get a popcorn bucket. I sit in front of the projector. You know, enjoy some quality talk to her time. Usually it revolves. Okay, I actually don't watch it. By the way,
There we go.
Okay.
But I've watched a bit of it because it comes on my TikTok for some reason, and usually it's more like, hey, let's mention the Hawk Tour thing, but like now you say it, you know, like yeah, but you're saying it wrong.
Okay.
You gotta put more emphasis in the tour. And then it's like, and then yeah, that's it. So
Right.
I think so. We need our own catchphrase. Is what you're saying?
yeah, fantastic.
That is, but that's
let's work on that one offline. I think.
Yeah, let's just read the Harry hate comments. Let's move on.
yeah.
Yeah, we do have some comments for you guys. I'll get some Spotify ones up. We can get some YouTube ones up as well. Somebody said, Boop, teach us some more Dutch. What's our Dutch lesson for the week, Boop? Go on.
Oh, I really wish you would tell me this in advance so I know what to say.
Got to put you on the spot.
The Dutch lesson of the week is
He's struggling.
You're just going through all the swear words in your head right now.
Ik was aan het lagen. There you go.
I don't speak Dutch.
Everyone together one. Ik was aan het lagen. I was lagging.
Ik was aan het lagen.
Aan het lagen. Yes.
Aan het lagen.
Aan het lagen.
Aan het lagen.
Yes, ik was aan het lagen. I was lagging.
Okay.
That's a good one for me. I will be using that
I
all
will
the
be
time,
using
don't
that
you?
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Thank you to our Dutch teacher.
No,
That's what we need every week.
Find it off.
Nolan D on Spotify said, so glad that the logo for this isn't super Fortnite related, so all my friends have no clue I'm watching a Fortnite podcast.
Fuck you too, man.
Wow.
Why didn't he
embrace
don't
that
want to
shit, man?
Yeah, celebrate it. You know,
Yeah.
you're a massive Fortnite fan.
You know, we've been getting grilled for that a lot, like on TikTok. Like, I'll take. By the way, if you don't follow the TikTok account, follow the TikTok account, guys. On TikTok, we had a couple TikToks this week that did really, really well compared to normal videos, and all the comments were just people going, grown ass men with a Fortnite podcast talking about Fortnite. What the fuck? Like, and we were just getting flamed, but we actually had an incredible amount of people defending us, and all the comments were just people going, yeah, but they're all richer than you, mate. They're all making bloody money, mate. It's like,
Earnings check.
Yeah, where are your Lamborghini keys, bud?
Come on.
Yeah.
No, we're not making that from this podcast, though. So are they, right?
It's the exposure, you know, not paying exposure.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. We got any YouTube ones? Any YouTube comments to read out? I forgot to get YouTube up. I only care about Spotify. So,
I mean,
Just
we
kidding.
had some YouTube ones, yeah.
Just kidding.
I think this was the week people were meant to be nice to me. I'm pretty sure that was
That's
the
why we're
comment.
not reading the
Well,
comments.
okay,
Yeah,
That's why they're not prepared. No one's
Okay,
on the record.
I have
was
one
empty.
nice one. I have one nice one for Mary. Peter Griffin said, Harry is very, very cute.
Wow, that is very nice. Now I'm gonna blush. Now I feel nervous. Can we go back to hating on me? It's easier that way. I miss where I get called a
Peter
goblin.
Griffin is the epitome of beauty for sure, so.
Yeah. Whoa. Why are we signing Peter Griffin?
Respect Peter Griffin. Okay, before we get onto some YouTube ones then, Bay said, can I please get a shout out? I re-listened to all your episodes and I'm a massive fan. I listen to this podcast every night. Hot take, Peterbot should play with Mongrel and Savage.
That is a hot
Shout out
take.
to you,
Very
Bay.
hot take,
That's a flaming hot take, brother. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for your support as always. I will say though, this week was a big week for us on YouTube when it comes to comments. Because last week I said to people, if you want to guarantee that your comment gets read, slide us some dollar, slide us some cash. As you know, as Reese just highlighted, we don't make money from this shit right now. We're poor. We're not millionaires from this. So slide us some dollar. And you did exactly that. And so let's take a look at some of the best super comments we received last week. Wow. We got the confetti out and all. Destin said, I love the podcast. It's cool or whatever. Also, can Levin say, Destin, you are my baby boy? There you go. There you go.
$2. That's all it takes for Levin to read out whatever you want.
Sweet, sweet words of Levin.
Oh, God. In number 2, we had JKC who gave us £2. Shout out to you, JKC. He said, Boop is the only member of the pod without a healthy coating of facial hair. We need a goatee or something.
Okay, well, first of all, the emphasis on a healthy coating, because I'm looking at I don't see a healthy coating on Harry's face, man.
Right,
Like, to be honest.
look.
Also, I have Asian genetics. Like, this is just an attack of me. Like,
I want to have a go at this bottom part where it says Harry the Stash is still a rip-off of the Big Dog's masterpiece.
I mean,
I was the first one. Go to the first podcast. That was me. I built this.
Here's the thing: if I do it better, then you're imitating.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. But most importantly, number 1 this week. Royale goes to Sensi for this week. He said, I want my screen time, Harry. this conversation is, I don't know why he said Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
Because I said about bringing it on the screen. I was the one who put it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no, fair play. This conversation has been beat into the dirt already, but I want to open the conversation on whether or not you guys think that Fortnite ranked mode can ever be improved to where games are more stacked. Are players just spoiled and will only try for money? Would a dope skin be enough? I have awesome memories of when in Chapter 2, Season 1, they only gave us 2 weeks to hit champs to play FNCS, and it was sweaty. I had 25 people in movings. Is the FNCS barrier too low? Before we answer the question, again, big thank you to Senti. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Currently our top donator and got all the works as a result of it. What do we make of this question, though? We've talked about it a bit before, but yeah.
I was going to say, this actually ties into my question of the day, or my hot take of the day.
Okay.
So do you want to answer that now, or do you want to wait till later?
I say I think we're doing hot take of the week after.
Well,
this, right?
we'll answer his question of can it ever be more stacked? That's what he basically just asked.
Yeah. That's not answering. That's what. Yeah, we'll overlap. That's fine. Can it be more stacked? No. I fully disagree with that.
Debates!
Let's be real. If you can't make solo cash cup stacked, most of your games, like how the hell are you ever going to make rank stacked at this point?
Yeah, but it depends what you mean by stacked. Because right now in ranked, it's the game dies before moving even appears.
The game dies before second zone. There's like 20
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. What I believe stacked to be. I don't think ranked can ever get searched. Right? I don't think that's possible.
I don't think it needs to.
I don't think it needs to as well. No. I agree, but I think it can get to 15 movings, and that to me is stacked enough. That is, if we had ranked with 15 movings, I think that is perfectly fine. Or even then, that's in solos, in duos and squads. You know, as it's always been. I think in Chapter 4 there was a point in the highest ranks where in squads there was actually search. There was like 30 moving. So it was like back in Chapter 4, there was like a period where people would play it. For me, I could talk about ranked forever, and there's so many things you can do to change it. And 11's smiling because he knows I've talked about it 100 times. But short answer, yes, it can be more stacked, but there's so many small things that have to be changed for it to get more stacked. And ranked cups, it isn't enough.
People don't care though.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you change. Even if you put like a 15-minute queue time, you make the best of lobbies, and the only real way you'd make ranked stacked is if you made ranked opens of FNCS or opens of other cash cups, and that you like had to try. You were like required to. All these other suggestions where it's like, you make it longer queue times, to get better quality games. People like, maybe don't want to waste a game much. People would it's too far gone, in my opinion. Far too gone. I don't think you could do it.
Quickly before you say Boop, I just wanted to say to the queue time thing. I think that has to be added on with more things. Like just adding long queue times isn't going to fix it. Yeah. I think that's why I don't think there's one solution which fixes it. I think that's why I've come to the realization that like if you just made it so like there was no kill points, it would help, but it wouldn't fix it. If you just made it just longer queue times, it would help, but it wouldn't fix it. It's like you have to add a bunch of things and a bunch of changes together to make it have a chance to be more stacked. It's like you need to make it so the higher ranks mean more, whether that's tournaments, whether that's like, for example, you said about FNCS, like, is it too easy to get into FNCS? It has to be because Epic want people to play the highest level of tournaments, so you'd have to have an extra tournament, which is outside of that for the highest level players, and the longer queue times, and actually being able to see like a normal tournament placement, what you get for each game, I think being able to see your placement and your elims per game would help a lot, right? What you actually need to go up ranks. But yeah, there's so much that has to be changed, and I don't blame you for saying it's too far gone, because the changes to be made to make it good, it would be a lot. It would be a lot of different changes that have to be made.
Yeah, I think within the... Sorry, I didn't interrupt. I think within the realms of what Epic will probably do within the next 10 years, there's just nothing's going to make it better.
I mean, they've tried, right? They've literally tried to host whatever the hell it was called, scrims, and they just couldn't make it happen. I do think the closest we've ever been to a proper rank system was when you had Elite Cups, right? That sort of progression system of weekly tournaments where they didn't mean shit, but in order for you to advance into Challenger and then, or whatever, what is it called? Challenge or whatever?
Challenger,
Elite, Challenger, and then Contender or something, right? In order for you to progress into Contender, into Challenger, well, you have to do well in Contender, and then the games were super stacked then. Like, that was our closest moment where we had progression from an open system into an actual FNCS system. And low-key, I don't think there's a hot take, but I think everyone wants Elite Cups back. Like, that was one of the best tournament viewing experiences, in my opinion, as well. And also just like the playing experience with the players was so fun because you were at a legitimate skill level closely related to you, where you were competing at people similar to you, but you had a chance to evolve and get into better lobbies, and that was super, super exciting. So something of that sort of system might work, but it's very difficult to make it 24/7, right? Like it needs to be something like set queue times once a day for 3 hours, but then we already have tournaments, right? Like there's no room for it. We just gotta accept that Fortnite's not a game for it. Like I think Apex does it well, but Apex also isn't really that reliant on stacked games, and there's also less people on the map. It's hard to relate it to it.
I think
for sure. Wait, you quickly go, Levin.
I think when it comes to like what we do with ranks, I think the priority should just be what we do at the lower level to make it what you said, Harry, of like the 15 move-ins or the 20 move-ins. Like if like at lower level ranked games, you could actually have move-in zones, I think that would benefit the ecosystem a lot more. And I feel like that feels more achievable. The problem with trying to get that to be the level for all levels of skill is that there's so much different balancing you have to do that I just don't think will get done. And who knows even then if it will be achievable. At the top level, right, the people who are the pros or, you know, intermediaries, people aspiring in that sense, sure, you know, it'd be nice to have more things to do. But at the same time, a lot of those people are already introduced to like competitive offerings. A lot of those people are just playing noble scrims every day, or they're playing something, you know what I mean? Like there's things there for them. I think when we always talk about like a progression of how do you get the most casual of people and get them more invested in comp, if their ranked games at their lower level ranked games, if it's like plat or whatever the hell it is, gold, have moving zones, I feel like I've always felt that like a good moving zone is like the thing that is almost like the crack of Fortnite almost, you know? It's like when you get that rush of getting through a moving zone and winning, like that's what I feel like captures a lot of people. And so if you give more of those people at that level, that experience, they're likely to, you know, progress up and up and up. And then of course, that's where maybe you do start to like collaborate more with people in the community who are providing offerings to people of better players, right? So you can push people in that direction once they get to the point where, okay, now their ranked games maybe aren't getting, you know, aren't that stats because everyone's keying or whatever. So for me, I'd just focus on like at the lower level. And I do think at the lower level, you can incentivize people to want to stay alive more, so you do get those types of end games. The problem is that like the good players, everyone thinks they're the booga of the lobby. They key everybody and the lobby gets unstacked, right? But yeah, there's way. I think it's possible. To answer your question, I do think it's possible, specifically at like a lower level, and I think that's where you should focus your attention.
I just wanted to say one last thing on it. Is like I think Epic have realized that, and they've figured out a band-aid or like bandage solution, which is just have more tournaments each day. Like literally, like what other game has 6 tournaments a week? Right? Like, well, there's technically 7 if you include like rank cups and finals and whatever, right? But it's like at the end of the day, that to me seems like their solution for giving a competitive offering every single day to players who aren't in scrim servers. Which, if they can make a good rank mode, probably would save them a lot of money instead of having to host tournaments constantly and having to have like multiple tournaments. But yeah, I feel like they kind of, from what it seems like, is they've understood that ranked is hard to make good. And they've just kind of realized, okay, it's easier just to host tournaments every single day.
It's also interesting that you talk about the money thing, right? Because this could... One of the last times I looked at player numbers, putting a prizing on only increased player count by 50%. So I think last time I looked, it was like one of the rank cups. This was before they were even good. Or one of the random... It wasn't a skin cup. It literally was just a rank. Had like, say, 200,000 people. And the Duo Cash Cup had like 300,000. Or something like that. That might not be the exact numbers, but it was like people play those tournaments whether there's like prizing or not for them, regardless. So,
I mean, skin cups have more people playing than actual regular dual cash cups in EU. A lot more people play those skins, maybe because it's a lot more.
You capture a wider audience though, because you have to remember there's a lot of people who play Fortnite who don't care about competitive, but they care about skins. So now they're playing that cup in the hopes of getting a skin because they're a skin collector or whatever, you know?
It's also a lot more tangible because, like, you actually feel like you can win that cup. Like, in fact, I think, like, dude, I don't, like, most people, they don't think they can qualify to do a cash cup. Top 50, impossible. Which is why, you know, Solo Victory Cups has 300,000 people playing the EU, right? Like, that is like, the main thing for Fortnite that makes it so relatable is, like, people have a chance to make money in those tournaments. Even though, like, the average player is never winning a game of Solo Cash Cup, right? Like, better players have tried, but at least that is within sight. One of the things I wanted to attack onto Harry's thing is like maybe they do take a page out of Scrim's notebooks and just say fuck it. 5 people can land per POI in a solo ranked game, for example, right? So like maybe like League of Legends, you can queue into a role, you can queue into a map or something in game, and then like, hey, the map is evenly distributed, maybe not by choice, but like automatically 5 people go Underworld, 5 people go Wrath, blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden like the map distribution is better, then there's less people fighting, and the games, at least in mid game, are a lot more stacked, and then maybe that would make more stacked end games. Who knows?
That would be because there's been some cool like things like that I've thought about. I've thought about like in, let's say for like a finals lobby, the better seeding you get, like the better choice you have a landing spot or stuff
Apex
like that.
does
Like
that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so like I've thought about this sort of stuff, and it actually might work for ranked. It'll be a completely different feeling to like a battle royale. You have to go into like a pick ban basically. You have to like pick your landing spot, and if you're last pick, you're just cooked. You're landing on 3 chests, and that's what you're dealing with. Might make practice worse, but yeah, I definitely think that if you're able to distribute players more evenly, it's generally just going to make games more stacked naturally, right? So
well, you can just queue onto the map like in League of Legends. You pick a mid and bot. Okay, I want to land Raft, Grimgate, and a shit spot bottom right. Those are my 3 choices. And then if you haven't gotten your Joss spot in the last 2 games, you get priority. If you don't get your Joss spot, if you did get your Joss spot last game, maybe you get your second choice, your third choice. And then like there's enough player base to justify making a map full of people with different choices. You just maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
too complicated to code though, probably.
Yeah, that sounds really complicated.
But that sounds buggy heaven. So
yeah, but it sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, can they make it more stacked? Yes, but it's really hard, really, really hard.
Yeah, there you go, Sensi. You got a good
$10.
conversation out of us. The $10.
All of that.
He gets the first move advice. Now everyone's going to send $10. Like, can you guys talk about this? We're going to be like, oh, actually,
only top donator.
You need $50 now. Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, if you're the top donator, then you're going to get your way, realistically.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to get your way. Well, let's get into hot take of the week then. Reese, you said you had a hot take related to ranked, so go on, hit us.
That does. Now, how hot is this hot take? As all of our hot takes are usually rather lukewarm. And that's maybe being nice. But based on the last one, I actually said ranked is fun. Now,
wow.
Ooh,
I know.
Steal right there.
It is. It depends on what you look at. Now, with the changes with Siphon and with the kind of loot pool being back to competitive, I've been playing a bit of ranked every single day, whether it's like duos or solos or whatever it was. Ranked's fun. Ranked is fun. Now, it's kind of boring in some areas. If your games are still dead, there's no doubt. Like you might spend 4 or 5 minutes not fighting a single player. But if you just loot off spawn somewhere, you'll still be able to key. You can still practice good fights. Like the players there it's much more realistic fighting than you'll ever get playing like any creative map, because there's all of the other elements like getting third party map management, all those kind of things. And over the last week, since they added Siphon and since they added the comp settings again, I've been having way more fun playing ranked than I have playing almost anything else.
I agree with your hot take. So it's not. I mean, dude, it's actually been really fun. Like, I think the people that complain about ranked as well, like not being fun, or the kids are just land raft over and over and over, 50-50, play nomad fights and they just die, right? Like, if you do what I do and probably what you do, I land at cemetery split. I just land there, get my shit, get like 1,000 mats, and go W key risky. Reckless railways, and then I get that like the adrenaline rush of fighting someone, get a few kills, like that's fun to me. So yeah, I've actually never played ranked in any of this. I didn't play any ranked last season, like literally nothing. And
Good
since
choice.
Cypher came out, I've been playing 2-3 games per day. Getting like 5-10 kills. It's been fun. It's been fun.
I agree to an extent. I think it's fun, but I do think it really depends where you land. We touched on it there. It's like it depends the type of person you are, but I feel like, for example, you landing your graveyard split, like if you looting up and then keying, that's fine. If some people want to take their practice and like, I'm going to land where I landed tournaments, they will not find a player for 10 minutes into the game. They will just be running around aimlessly with 20 people alive in second zone, not finding a player. I think if you land a POI or land very close to a POI, great. I think it's absolutely fine, because 9 times out of 10, then POIs are contested. You'll get a little bit of practice there. You'll get your loot. You can go key someone else. It's fine, right? But when it comes to if you're like landing a split or something like that, or you're like nowhere near any POIs and you're trying to take it like quote unquote seriously, it can be a bit boring. And if I don't know. I think it's fun, definitely, and I do think the practice is good from it. But yeah, I would agree to an extent.
Actually, what you just said just reminded me of something that was actually a really cool mechanic in tournaments. You guys remember when there was like this thing about zones, and zones were reliant on how many players were alive in tournaments, right? Like if there was a threshold of like 60 players, zones would be faster. Why don't they have that for ranked? If there's 20 people alive, fuck it, make it a blitz zone, make third zone, second zone really fast, and then you force the fighting to happen to make it a lot more fun. Because one of the issues I have now, especially because they removed movement, is, dude, I'm running to Reckless, getting like 2 or 3 kills, and then I'm running all the way to Grim Gate because that's where most people are fighting at. But it takes me 5 minutes to get there. So if you have no movement, fuck it, make the zones smaller so you force fighting into smaller areas, or bring the COD zones back where you get 2 circles on each side with fights or something.
Yeah,
you know? Like, I think there's some creativity that can be done in ranked to make it a lot more faster paced and fun. To kind of mimic that Lake Arena vibe.
Yeah, to not even make it more stacked, to just, if you want to make it increase the fighting ability, as you said, the closing of the zones will just increase more fights. It's not going to make it naturally more stacked. It might feel more stacked. It's just going to make players run into each other more often and create fights. Because, yeah, as you said, like, the no mobility, so I land Castle Doom, or Doom Castle, in the top right, so I can pad around. I can't imagine, like, if I landed, say, for example, like, Mount Olympus, or something like that, and there's just there's not a lot.
Olympus lander.
Yeah,
I can just say all you need to do. You'll get a fizz if you loot a couple chests there, because there's so many in the space. Even if you're ungone, you can just go and you just ring, and then you just fizz pad middle map. It takes it takes like 3 minutes to get to the first ring, and then you're chilling after that. That's basically what I've been doing in all of my games. If you fight up spawn, if you can't find anyone around, you just do that, and then you can almost get to like Grimgate or towards the raft where people are fighting. So it's like you nearly always get it relatively quickly.
Fair. But yeah, I think
still a bit slow,
there's enough natural mobility, but still, if you're like in an area where there's no natural mobility, it feels like you are in slow motion running around.
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you guys were talking about like some of the problems there, where like obviously not being able to, if you're in a game, right, where it's not stacked, it feels really bad because you want to fight. And part of that is because ranking up doesn't feel rewarding because the ranks aren't prestigious, and the ranks aren't a good reflection of how good you are generally. It feels like, at least, right? And the way I was thinking of maybe how you change that, or something you can do, what if like your rank was reflective of how you did in a tournament? So you actually, like, your tournaments actually were linked to your rank. And so there was a distribution of like the people who are like in the top 100 of a tournament are the people who have Unreal. And then the people who are, or whatever more you'd need to make queues work and stuff, of course, right? But like, then the people who are like, so for me, as like a top 20k solo cash cup player, I'm like getting put in Planter, you know? I think I've gotten top 20k most weeks around that. Anyway, you know, as a, you know, because I'm in that range, I'd get put in Platinum, and those are my games. And so now my ranked games are against all those people in tournaments, you know, who are getting in that similar range. I don't know. I was just thinking about that.
No, I think it's a good idea. What this all comes down to is Epic, just do something. Just as we've come up with like loads of different ideas, whether it's zones, whether it's making longer queues, like or it's like picking your landing spot, or whether it comes down to like a tournament in the higher elos, like if you get to Unreal, you get a specific tournament unlocked. It's like we all have like interesting ideas, which I feel like would help ranked. And it's just like, do something. Just do any of them, please. Like, I'm begging. It's been, Arena was shit, ranked is shit. Like, it's fun, but it's still not great. Like, just do anything, please. Like, it's all we need is just have something to make the games better.
Yeah, I think to round up on your take, Reese, I think I agree with you that ranked is fun.
Yeah.
But as Harry sort of highlighted there, it's still maybe doesn't feel like it works well as a ranked mode, or at least for what we expect that to be, right?
Yeah.
So,
Not even nearly, but if I want to get in and practice some fighting,
it's good.
That's the best place for it right now.
No,
feels like Arena again. Yeah.
No, it literally just is Arena.
It's just
Arena. It is Arena, yeah.
My hot take, another one linked to something being fun. After I came here and lambasted Reload for being the worst thing I had played, tournament-wise, the worst tournament I had played ever in my entire life, I played squads and duos last week, and I had a great time. I had fun. Reload tournaments are fun to me. I've not watched, so I can't speak as from a viewing experience of whether things feel better now, but after playing, I actually really enjoyed it. What I will say is it did sort of just feel like I was just playing BR. Like it didn't
Yeah.
like
Mm.
when you have like a plan, and I know Harry, you were saying like last week, trust me, Levin, if you have like an actual set game plan and like treat it like BR, like you'll have a much better playing experience, which was true for me. But then it just ended up meaning like it just felt like BR because you know we landed, we looted, we stayed away from where people are fighting or whatever, and we're not taking advantage of the whole fly-in mechanic when you respawn, like the respawning aspect of it, because we're playing not to die. Because if you die in a lot of situations, like getting looked like you're just too scuffed, you're getting chain killed, whatever the fuck. So it's like we're not dying in mid game, and then we get to end game, and in end game, the respawn is off anyway. So it just felt like we were just playing, a duo cash cup on the OG map essentially, which isn't bad.
No,
right?
it's
Because I like it. But yeah, I did have a lot of fun playing Reload, and I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was last week.
What changed your opinion though?
Just like the way I actually thought about the mode was just different from a playing experience. The way I thought about the mode was different. I don't know why, but like before, the way I was thinking about the mode was just like almost like as its own different thing, and I wasn't like putting in like the effort of like, hey, in BR I think about my landing spot, I think about where I want to rotate this, that, the third. I think about zone priority and other. Do you know what I mean? Like I just wasn't thinking of the game like it was BR, and as soon as I did that, it was just like, oh, this is just BR. And it's fun. I like the weapons. I had the blast with the mammoth pistol, whatever. Like it's just fun. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah. I want to tag on to that as like, as someone I'm probably the one who's fudged most reload of all time. Well, but unfortunately and unfortunately, but yeah, it's just basically the way to play reload to the fullest for me is you kind of, as you said, Levin, you have to play like a battle royale. If you key, you get too scuffed, and like actually trying to recover a game is impossible. You have to tank storm, which means then you can't win heal off. So then it's like kind of scuffed in that respect. If you land the god spots and you die, obviously, then you still have to recover. I think the one thing they need to remove is the rifts in the air. If you just hear a rift, it is 10 teams all just running at the rift. Everyone's just keying the rifts as soon as they're on rifts, because they have nothing, right? But I agree, it's fun. I think obviously it's different if I was like a higher level player, for example. But because I know that top 50, top 20, I'm not qualifying for. I'm just playing it for fun, and it feels rewarding. As a top level player, I can understand the frustrations, because you actually have to get a near perfect tournament. And I was speaking to someone about it, and they made a good point that the problem with it is you can play all 7 games out, and you only have 7 games to play. So you have no room for error, really. So if they made it where it's like maybe 9 or even 10 games, maybe it would feel better. Maybe the games would become more dead, but it would feel better, because if it's not like, oh, we got 8th game 1, well, that's the tournament over, we can't qualify anymore.
Right.
It would make it feel a little bit better. But from a fun aspect, yeah, I have a blast playing it. I love it. I think it's so much fun. I think it is just getting that battle royale feeling as quicker. Once you get a landing spot sorted, once you get some rotates sorted, like an actual loop path, like once you get these sort of things sorted for it, it's just like a condensed battle royale on a map, and it's just fun to play. It's enjoyable. The guns are fun to use. Like obviously having hit scan versus non-hit scan is a bit different. It's a bit weird, Going from non-hit scan to hit scan, it feels really odd, like having to the way you have to aim. But yeah, I have a blast playing every week. Like it's one of the tournaments I look forward to the most, for sure.
I said on sorry, go for a boop.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you guys are having fun. I'm still not watching it, so.
I agree.
No,
that's all I'm gonna put there.
Well, yeah, because it's like again, yeah, like you're watching the highest level. I haven't, if I'm being honest, I haven't watched a Reload Cup at the highest level. I've not watched the finals of any of the Reload Cups. I haven't yet, and maybe this week I'll give it a chance just to see, but since I'm having more fun with it now. Mm-hmm. But at the highest level, I can see why, again, it's still not there. I'm sure I'll get like Queasy and a bunch of other pros who listen to the podcast giving me like, you fucking drone, that's just the worst shit to play. I'm sure I will. But I'm saying for like casual comp players, like people who aren't qualing anywhere near qualing, like it's a fun playing experience, I think.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there was on EU, I'm pretty sure there was like 160,000 people playing on EU squads. And getting a squad is hard. Like, it's not like an easy thing to do,
That was always the excuse. I don't want squads because I can't find a squad.
Yeah, exactly. And there's still 106,000 people playing it. And I just, I agree. I think for watching experience, it's boring as shit. I'm not going to lie. I've watched a budget. Watching is boring, which is why I keep saying to you people, it's like, just don't viewing party it, just play it. You'll have 10 times the experience if you play it than watch it.
Is it still max heal offs like in final moving
Not
zone to where like who goes first like insta storm sickness? Like how does that
No,
work now?
it's 600 damage is normal now. It's 600 damage.
So it's just like a delayed version of what it was, but like more heal off.
Yeah, so like the average heal off, I would say, is around about, you would get in duos maybe 4 teams playing heal off. Four teams playing heal off, maybe 3 teams playing heal off, because there's last moving zone. You don't realize till you play it. The last moving zone is actually just max distance, like 1 minute 30, just going in the same direction. It feels that's like a hard zone. And then squads is a little bit different though. Squads, I think the squads game mode just needs to be involved in, because in the highest level it is just like 6-7 teams playing heal off, and it's insane because you can full top from 50-50 to last moving. But in duos it feels a lot of, it's like you actually have to get some refreshes, you actually have to like set up for heal off. Rotating's hard because there's so many more teams and in different bases around the map. Like it feels good in duos, but squads, the heal off is a little bit problematic.
Okay.
Yeah. Last week's, I summarized it last week. Last week was the first squad cup we played without Levin and Mini, and we said it was fun there too. Didn't play this week's one, so I haven't figured out if it was the lack of Levin and Mini that made the mode more fun, or maybe it was just that first week was just.
I played with Levin and Mini and I had fun, so
Okay,
I'll
okay.
vouch.
I played
Who's your
without
fourth?
Reese and DJ, and I had fun.
Exactly.
So...
That's where I was about to come
Someone's the
around.
problem. I don't know who it is.
It's just a mismatch. We're just too fraggy. You know, you need to start putting some brains on it. Who's your fourth that you played with this time?
It was Adders. It was my TikTok editor. It was just solely fair.
Yeah, respectfully, I love you, Adders. Adders actually used to help out with the pod with FNtasia a bit. Adders was tragic. He was.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not saying anything.
Harry's too nice. I'm
a nice guy.
I love Adders though. That's my guy. But,
he played like in duos. He played really well. Like he actually basically carried me in duos. Like he was he solo clutch like a moving from like 50-50 to a win. I was like, okay, we'll lock him in for squads. He just had a bad day. Yeah, he did not play well in squads. But...
yeah.
Get his stats checked.
Harry told me the stats, and I was.
I don't want to broadcast that publicly. Let's just leave it at that.
We won't shame him too much. We love Addis.
Okay.
We love Addis.
Yeah, we love us.
Who else? Who's next for hot takes? Boop, you got a hot take for us?
Yes, I got a hot take. It's actually relating a little bit to what Harry said about squads, but my hot take of the week is that trios is actually a bad choice for Chapter 6.
Ooh.
And the actual hot take, we're not having fun.
Yeah.
We're not having fun. So the reason why I put this out is because we already have had trio scrims going on right now. We've seen the impact of trio scrims, and basically, from my point of view, is that the game mode itself lends itself to a lot of issues, and knowing Epic Games, those issues won't be fixed in time. And what I mean is multiple things. Is number one, it is very meta related, and if you have a meta that is way too much movement or any sort of movement item, the game will instantly just go to max heal offs every single game. There's no room for any sort of like any sort of different type of gameplay. Like if you add a movement item that is trio based, like a launch pad, rift to goes, shockwaves, the games will instantly go to heal off just because the game offers itself with too many mats, right? And you'd say, okay, compare that to back in whenever trios was in Chapter 2, I think, right? Well, the game has gotten a lot better. People know how to play the game more. You know, we got more strategies. People know how to full torp. People know how to conserve mats. They know how to save things. So, like, the game is evolved to a state where people are too good at the game, where trios doesn't actually fit as a game mode in its current state for Chapter 6. And knowing development in Fortnite, before we get to a point where it's actually a viable and good game mode to watch and play to enjoy, I think we're going to be like 6-7 months down the line, unless they host trio tournaments in OG to figure out these issues.
I basically agree with everything you said. The only thing I would say is it will only be bad if they, as you said, if they don't fix it. Because, if they put, as you said in scrims, if they played a trio tournament now, it would be the most boring thing to watch. As you said, max heal off, full tarping, nothing happens, game ends, right? And so much has to change, even with Surge as well. I think the trading for Surge will be even more of a problem in trios, because there'll be teams who are getting like thousands of Surge, 3 players trading each. You're going to get insane level of Surge, right? But if they can fix it, it should be fine. But I do agree with you, if they fix nothing, it will be bad. Sure.
Do any of you remember what I used to always say on this show and other shows about trios before we knew
Mm-hmm.
trios ever coming back. Probably not, because no one ever listens to me.
No.
What I did say
No,
a lot, what I would always say when people would ask me, "Yeah, Levin, do you want trios next year?" I was like, "I'd want trios, but only if people understand that Epic are going to have to change the game in a lot of fundamental ways for it to work." And so it's good that already we're seeing that that's the case. For whatever reason, I am just more optimistic of the necessary changes happening than Boop and others are. Which, if we're being honest, you guys are in the right there, because there's a longer history of it not being the case, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm sort of with you in that sense. But again, like I'm still optimistic that they will make the right changes. And the thing for me is, like, you'd think that it's like a lot of the stuff is obvious. The only fear I have is that Chapter 6 would have already been in development for a while now. So a lot of the fundamental things that are going to make up the game have already been decided. And the reality is, a lot of those things wouldn't have been decided with trios in mind.
Correct.
I know that for certain. They wouldn't have been made with trios in mind. So, you know, you're now going to have the comp team working with the development team to be like, yeah. I know you guys cooked up this, but this ain't going to work for the trios that we decided we're going to do now. So can you not cook that up? Or can you fix this or change this already? And the development team, as always, is going to be, we just need a data lad to come on. We got to try it first. You know? So
that's a real conversation, by the way.
Right. So what's going to happen is we're going to go into the first week of Trio Cash Cup next year, and Queasy's going to be tweeting, "Oh my goodness, these guys have no clue what they're doing," and it's going to feel like, you know, the same old cycle that we're used to, right? So hopefully, you know, that isn't the timeline, but that looks like it's probably going to be the likely timeline, or at least that's what it's felt like in the past.
I think there's two interesting things I was just thinking about while we're having this conversation about what has changed so much. Obviously, skill ceilings and all this kind of stuff, but two of the interesting things that I think have changed so much since the last time at trios. Number one is sprinting, right? Which is such a weird thing to mention, but if you watch old trios VODs and old VODs and old stuff just from before sprinting was available, like, you know, people just built every rotate in moving zones and things like that. But now with sprinting, you have the option to like drop down, cut off areas, you know, conserve mats in so many different ways that you weren't able to do then, which makes the problem even worse now, because, you know, more people are going to keep, there's better at saving mats in endgame. Right. The second one, which is the thing someone from Epic messaged me to ask, like, what would you think about if trios was something that came back? And I said, basically, you have to change a lot. It's similar to what Levin said there. But the main thing I'm always concerned about is actually just fire rate of weapons. And this has always been a major issue. And basically since Chapter 3, the fire rates generally have gone up. And sometimes like damage has come down to make the damage per second go, like, you know, even out to some older weapons as well. But if you have 3 people spraying with higher fire rate weapons, you can't turbo build that. You know, you can't even like place 2 builds, and a lot of fights just become really like spray focused generally. And I'm kind of concerned that that's the problem we'll have with what Levin just said there about like items and weapons are put in. Like, imagine the combat AR that was in last season, or the striker AR that's in now. Like, the fire rates on those are insane. Just having 3 players spraying you from every angle, like how do you fight against that?
Yeah, we're gonna be screwed when they give Peterbot the mythic Nemesis recon fucking Stinger Striker SMG with 60 ammo in it. Like, we are just finished, you know, when that happens. So it's funny, Reese, you say that just because,
so you can see through walls too.
Right.
He already does.
I remember, and this is how you know I'm a big Reese fan. I remember you literally had to make a video in Chapter 3 about like how to deal with like people spraying, because that whole meta was like so bad at spraying. And it will just be worse now because people are more coordinated now. People are more, like, we might be in trouble.
There's also one thing I forgot to mention, and it's fucking pre-edits. pre-edits are unbelievably broken in trios. Every time I did a viewing party for scrims, this team got triad, and they're dead, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, one of the things now as well, and like, you need armored walls in trios. If you don't have armored walls in trios, it's impossible to play the game because every fucking person sits there pre-editing you. I wonder if there's a world where they just say, fuck it, we're just going to disable pre-edits in trios, in like comp, for example, you know? Because like it's clearly something that's not intended, probably, right? Like they probably didn't think people were going to be doing that shit, but maybe they like it that people are using game mechanics finally, because who the hell uses pre-edits otherwise? So I do think, low-key, I'd be down for them to remove pre-edits, because otherwise, you need an armored wall, and then armored wall, you have to balance armored walls again. Like, how many armored walls is too much? Like, it opens up a whole world of issues where you need a balance for that, and like the balance just isn't going to come fast enough. So,
yeah, I want to touch on with the spraying thing from Reese is like, from playing Reload, you understand in squads, spray downs are virtually uncounterable if you have 4 people with spray weapons, just instant spray. Trios will be the same. You're going to tarp next to a team. You're going to place a nice little ramp next to them, and you're just going to triple spray down, and the middle or back guy is just dead. Like, it's just, if you have a gun with enough structure damage, they will die. They will just get sprayed down instantly, and there's not a lot you can do. Unless you're going to have someone just running around holding tops and bottoms constantly, so you never get sprayed down. But that seems like very, very boring gameplay if you have to do that. But, yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of issues for trios that they need to fix going forward, for sure.
Basically, have to cone your every tarp you're making. Floor cone it.
And before everyone comments like, "Oh my god, baby, you want duos again?" No, I like trios. I think trios can be super fun to watch. I'm enjoying the trio scrims, but like as a game mode and a pure competitive standpoint, it needs some changes to be good, and it's going to take a while. That's it.
I think that's a good take. I think that's a good take. Harry, round us up.
Yes. All right. Mine is that chug splashes are bad for competitive, and I think as an item, so for me personally, I feel like chug splashes are a very unskilled item to have in the game, and I feel like every meta we have when it comes to fighting is better when we don't have chug splashes. Whenever you're fighting someone, they can build 2 boxes and just chug splash 6 times and they're full HP. I don't think that's competitive. I feel like the way fighting should go is you deal damage, you pressure, and the way to counter is either counter damage or creating enough space so you can get like actual some some longer level of heals off either minis or bigs or whatever, right? You could then say obviously like floppers and shieldfish, but you have to actually go and fish. And, you know, you have to go and get them. And I feel like it's a little bit harder to do that than it is just, oh, I landed my spot, I got 6 chug splashes, me and my duo got cracked, and now we're full HP again. And then you can add on top of that, when it comes to heal off, having chug splashes as something to do with heal off also makes it less enjoyable, right? It increases heal off, it makes it so people are able to heal off longer. When it comes to storm sickness as well, you can spam splashes. And just in general, every meta we've had when chug splashes have been in the game has been less enjoyable to watch from fighting, when it comes to end games, when it comes to this sort of stuff. And for me personally, I prefer the game, and I think it's better when chug splashes are out of the game.
It's interesting. I think chug splashes probably feel worse right now because you're in the meta where you're carrying triple heals more often than not. Because I think if it wasn't triple heals, most people wouldn't carry chug splashes if you just had 6. I don't think people would.
In solos, no. In duos,
yeah. In duos, one person would carry them, but like in solos, you probably wouldn't carry them. Maybe you would if you're like W Keen or something. You want fast heals on you. I don't know. I feel like in general, just because you have more slots and more options, I feel like most people are taking them whenever they can. I generally don't disagree with you. I think like a lot of the things you listed are like valid reasons for why they're not great, and it's part of why I think they stopped doing all the like
cooler
the
boxes.
the cooler boxes, right? Because I think they realized at a point that chug splashes were too strong. Like there was a point where it was just so bad.
Everyone had floppers, chug splashes. You get cracked and just full HP in 1 second.
Yeah. So
I wonder if I would love to see data on it, right? Like if teams on average find more chug splashes, do they have higher placement in like a duo tournament, just to see if that actually locks in? Because like, you know, like I guess we're talking about like RNG of weapons and stuff. Like how much does it actually affect the gameplay? Right? Because like remember back in the day when people landed on cooler boxes, holy shit, people loved their cooler boxes. People would even like mark outside of the split just for the cooler box to be added, just because of how strong chug splashes were in that case. So I actually am wondering how much it actually does affect it. In terms of like from a viewer perspective, it's very hard to see how much impact they have. But like being able to moving zones in duos, being able to move while in Storm and to close that gap compared to a medkit is definitely like a huge advantage. But yeah, the data, I think, too, I sound like epic. The data is something I'd love to see.
I think like the biggest issue I've found this season, and well, I was going to say on last, I can't remember when they were re-added. It's just finding a lot of chug splashes is actually just hard. Like they are rare. So although they're super powerful, it's like I almost never find myself picking them up again, unless it's duos. We've managed to have like the full drop spot uncontested, and we get it, which is rare in itself. And in solos, it's also super rare. Like I'm trying to remember the last time I fought someone and they even had chug splashes to like heal up. It just seems so rare. Which obviously goes back to why like the coolers and why they were so broken, because you could get so many of them back in chapter 3. But now it's like I do relate though, because I am remembering one fight in particular where DJ said he hit someone down to like 10 HP. Maybe he was just lying, and then I hit him like 150 and he doesn't die. I'm like, either you're totally, this is before Siphon, so either you're bullshitting or this guy, he did use splashes, but I didn't like clock it in my head because it's so rare that people just have 6 splashes and they just throw them down all the time. That I didn't even I just was still in that mindset, this guy's weak, but no, he's healed up 120 additional HP on top of that, and managed to be way more healthy. So bad awareness on my part, but it doesn't happen that often that people are actually carrying 6, in particular like in solos.
No, it's obviously, like, quick heals do have their place in the meta, in my opinion. I feel like if the meta was, for example, carrying these big medkits, everyone, and a lot of people do carry that loadout, it's like, well, that would be boring as fuck to watch fights. You crack each other, hold on, we're both going to pop our bigs, and we're going to take, like, 5 minutes to heal up. Like, that would be boring, but I think there's a balance, I think there's a balance between everything is, like, we have chug splashes, or, for example, in Coors with the game, we had chug splashes, floppers. Did you get shield fish from them? I think you might have. Or guzzle juice it was.
Guzzle juice,
yeah. Where it's just like, you're just getting 3 lots of quick heals, which are just all good for fighting, from cooler boxes to there's none in the game. I think there's a balance, and I just don't know if chug splashes fit that balance.
I think minis and bigs, especially with the change where bigs take time, you can gradually pop them. I think that's just, they nailed it from the start almost.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so nicely balanced that way. There's a risk to popping a big, especially if you don't want to waste it. If something that you are benefited if you're someone who can pressure another player well in a fight to cancel their heals and to give you time to pop ones, to fake them out to try and make a play and things like that. I think I agree with your take though. I think quick kills like that generally I'm not a big fan.
Those healing changes are actually underappreciated. Now that you mention it, like the medkit changes and the big part changes, like actually they actually cooked on that. Also, like sprinting, as we mentioned before, like I was very, very mindful about like, oh dude, they're gonna ruin the game by adding sprinting and sliding and all that shit. But like, dude, it's made the game very dynamic. Just to pull away from the chug shot specialization. Like I have to give Epic their props because we don't give that too often. But like this chapter, they've cooked on a bunch of mechanics that have made this game generally a lot more enjoyable to watch and to play for sure.
Are you ready for prone in chapter 6?
I can't wait to do the bottom edit, like the bottom floor edit, and just like
that's what I'm saying.
The toe edit, the recent.
Imagine crawling on low ground, like you're just like
I'm snaking on top of a tarp. I'm just gonna be crawling over the cones.
I'm under height.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a cook though, no? Like you could, you're gonna save so many mats doing that.
I just shot my fucking toes, man. God damn it.
The prone peaks are gonna go crazy. I'm just ready for them.
That's gonna be so good, especially if you can like prone like mid jump or some shit. It's gonna be great.
Dolphin dive, like what game?
I was gonna say, what game could you do that in? That shit is so funny.
They need to
like a Max Payne
through the air.
Bro, have any of you played Black Ops 6 beta? It's gonna be like that shit, They're gonna add that shit.
Oh, the Omni movement.
The Omni movement, like you're just like prone dive jumping, like it's gonna be insane.
They need to make it so you can edit trap doors in your wall, so you can just like a nice little trap door you can just sneak through.
Add some new edits, add some new edits. Add a new
need to update the edit tier list.
Oh, it's a whole new thing for Reese. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Which edits should they add? The bottom 6. There you go.
Yeah,
that's what you should be able to do.
Yeah.
Or just bottom
top
3.
Door.
Literally just...
I want a door on the top 2 tiles so I can open it with a right hand peek upwards. So there you go.
And the shine booty bombs back as well. You can just throw it to the little hole.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so troll. Yeah.
Oh, like a window in every tile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Yeah.
Ooh. Do you get the floor window?
Oh, no,
in any, and all at once.
In all of them.
Wait, that's the big window.
No.
They should make it. You can edit your whole wall. Like you just get rid of the wall. You're just sat there.
Like
just
a 9 building grid instead. Wait, it's 9. Sorry,
9,
27. Yeah.
Ooh.
27 tile editing. I'm messing my edits
Muscle
with a
memory
9 tile with
fucked, yeah.
I was
27.
gonna say
I'm
the
doing
amount
it
of
to edit
mis-edits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, there hasn't been much in the world of Fortnite news-wise, but there was a change that like happened literally today as we're recording this. They nerfed dashing, or specifically the dashes are the same, but they changed the momentum you get after your first dash. You lose momentum, which means you can't triple dash at the same sort of distance and speed as you could before. Muzz was the first person we saw to sort of talk about this, so we'll play the clip here. As you can see, he gets ready to go up and dash. The first dash is normal. The next two take him nowhere. Or seemingly nowhere.
He gets stuck in mud. He literally is
It's like
just...
dashing in my dreams is basically what that feels like there.
Yeah. It's, you know, everyone's been screaming out for the dash nerfs, you know. They've been so OP for this entire
bloody
entire
5
season.
months too late, mate. When
Yeah, it
Peterbot
is,
was
it
running
literally-
about winning everything, they didn't change
We could have... EU could have won globals if Peterbot didn't just get that domination on Grim Gate. Like, they just ruined it. They just wanted Peterbot to win everything and then they'd nerf it. But, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, like, triple dashing is quite OP with Fizz. But it's... we're 3 weeks off the new season. Did it really need to happen? You know, it's like... I don't understand if they did it at the start of the season, but 3 weeks before OG and we're changing the movement meta, like... I guess... good, but it just doesn't make any sense.
I guarantee it's a bug. That's
Yeah,
usually
there's
like,
also-
oh, well, is this intended? Well, we have no patch notes, so we don't know. But usually, when something like this happens, it's definitely a bug, which means that now we got to think about, okay, what if they're changing the dashes? What are they changing in the background that is making this happen? You know, now we can make your
It's
speculation.
the proning, it's the dolphin diving.
Yeah,
They
like,
didn't want the
you know,
momentum
it's-
to do quick.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because when you play that game, you're always going to be wrong. Because
Yeah.
there's been times when like an Epic employee has told me like one random thing they changed that bugged something so unrelated, and you're like, how is that even flipping possible?
Yeah, this is
that
the
those
voice
two
chat
things are linked?
changes that cause
You
it.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Isn't
yeah.
this
Sleep
like
modes,
with...
that's it.
Was it...
The sleep
yeah.
mode.
Sleep
Wait, yeah.
after you
Oh,
dash,
yeah.
that's why, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wasn't this like what it was like in Chapter 2 of slow gliding? That every time they tried to fix the slow gliding bug, it would break something else completely unrelated, which was worse than breaking slow gliding.
Yeah, the inside scoop on that was the reason Slow Glide was in for so long was literally that, what you just said. That they tried to fix it, and anytime they fixed it, something had got worse. So they just said, fuck it, we'll leave it for now until we could fix it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they just gotta fix the points bug. That's it. That's the number one. Like, god damn,
Yeah.
how hard can it be, man? Surely.
Which one do you mean, mate? There's-
All of
Yeah.
them.
Couple.
The
but they-
island one, you know, they ruined my Fortnite map. I had such a great map, it was popping off, and then they remove island points, man. Like,
No, that's what they did. They fixed the points bug, and now there's no dashes. That's it. We haven't played the tournament yet, so who knows?
yeah, we'll see tonight.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a link there. We have a new segment this week that's never seen before, never done before, and
Yes.
we're gonna give the platform here to my good friend Coach Harry.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
are gonna
so
be running.
so every week we're going to do. I'm going to bring out some might be some more common players, some might be some less common players, but a player of the week to talk about, which I feel like the casual audience will maybe they haven't heard of, or they don't know how well they're performing or anything like that. And the first one I want to talk about is from the Asia region. I've been talking about him probably for the past 2 weeks now. Koyota. For Koyota, for anyone who doesn't know, he was an Asia representative at Globals. And when he went to Globals, he was fighting Reet and Ritual at the bunker a lot. He landed at the island split north of the map, and obviously Reet and Ritual landed Doomstat. They fought each other a lot, and Reet and Ritual basically come out of it saying, this guy is the greatest fighter. We can't kill him. We can't actually do anything against him. And then after that, it felt like everyone was on his hype train, and yeah, it's basically just taken off from there. You watch him play. I've watched his latest highlight video maybe 100 times. I've watched I've watched all of his replays. I feel like, unfortunately, obviously, you can't speak English, so it's a lot harder to get other people going over. There was jokes between Mr. Savage and Canada that, oh, Mr. Savage and Mongrel will go over to Asia and they'll get him a English tutor to be able to play with him. But yeah, he is just, when you watch him play, like, he makes edit on release look unbelievably broken. And he's just dominating. And it's not just it's in creative. You watch him fight in game, and it's the exact same. Like, he's a smart fighter. He takes really good peeks. And if you want to go through his recent placements, you know, he won he came first, second. Well, he came back-to-back first in the last Euro Cash Cups, won the Reload Squad Cups, and this is from his grands onwards, right? And even before that grands, where he won grands to qualify to globals, he won the Euro Cash Cup before that, and it feels like he's just on an insane run at the moment. And for me, it's really nice to see minor region players having the capabilities of being this good, right? Because we've always talked about it where they don't have the practice levels. And for me, watching an underdog region have a player like this, which all the major region players respect highly, is just exciting for the future.
So
I don't know if any of you guys have watched him, but
I have, but I want to firstly just put a clarification on here that this is indeed Harry's meat riding corner. Is that
this is going to be it. Yeah, this is what it'll be.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with, because I like learning movies. I've actually, because you were talking about him so much, I actually watched this exact video and it was, he's nuts. That's it. I put a note and a stamp on that there's a video I'm going to be working on like next week or something like that, and I'm going to be looking at some of his gameplay for that because I was impressed by his fighting skills a lot, and especially for someone from Asia, because Asia notoriously not. Ooh, that was
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Reset window was nice.
Yeah.
I say notoriously not great fighters. So to have someone who's such a standout is pretty nuts.
I'm just fucking impressed by the mechs here. Like
this is
that little edit reset. Like, ooh, okay. Yeah, I see the vision here. Again, like I always say for these things, fuck it. Pay that to rest, go to a better region. That's what I want to see from these type of players, Like, do it. But like in trios, it might actually be impossible now because I don't even see many EU players actually move into like NA anymore because of trios anymore. So maybe that's
just gotta win season 1.
Yeah, true.
Win season 1 and then move for the next couple of seasons. Obviously, we got Alex moving to NA for the whole year.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
and even then, it's like he's struggling. Like the funny thing about the Alex thing is, right, Buzz doesn't want to play with him because he doesn't think he's good enough yet. And it's like, didn't you move over? Didn't you do this? Like, it feels like a bit disrespectful. But yeah, for a player like him, we saw with Phantom obviously in EU, and he's staying in EU for the rest of the year, for the rest of next year.
Yeah.
So I think, for a player like him, and for everyone to think he's this good, and I mean, you can watch it yourself. He is incredible. I'm in awe. I'm moved. I'm so moved by him. And yeah, you're right, Reese. It's a meat riding corner, but at the end of the day,
I love it. No hate. I just want to clarify.
We'll get some new players, but I just wanted to give respect to, because we never really talk about it. I'm pretty sure right at the start we never talked about Asia.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say to the one guy in the comments that's always like, "You guys never talk about minor regions. Do one, eh?
Yeah.
Do one. Where are you now, mate? You won't comment now. You won't.
Yeah.
You won't comment now.
The problem now is though that he's just not going to place anymore. Anytime Harry talks about someone in like the very crazy positive light, they always remember what happened to Haris, man. Where's Haris, man? Like,
Haris, he's qualifying to your Cash Cups with Queasy. That's a good placement. We take
notes.
notes. I know.
What does that mean?
I mean, you're starting beef. You're starting beef that I don't need to start.
You mentioned Queasy, he was on top of your head, man. Jesus.
Okay. I know he's clipping that, putting on Twitter right
watching
now.
This, yeah.
I mean, if we're
again.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going off trios at the moment, the trio that's been playing the Rival Rock Cup is Skavi, Haris, and Tayson. So he's getting to play with Tayson, the GOAT. So, if we're talking about that.
You know what was funny? When we've been talking about trios all this time, you know how we were, for like two podcasts in a row, we were talking about like who's playing with who for trios, like what's the options. We did not once say Tayson.
That's crazy.
Any of it. Yeah. I thought about this the other day where I was like, oh yeah, who's he going to play with? And then like this is the first time we have mentioned Tayson plus trio at any point.
Yeah, that's a bit sad.
When is the Rival Rock Finals? Is it this weekend?
This weekend, yeah. I think I'm going to be watching it. So it should be fun.
So we'll see how Tayson performs. We'll see how a lot of the trios perform.
Yeah.
The first time.
It's funny, because we haven't mentioned Tayson. In the Veno interview, he did mention Tayson, so we did get our Tayson mention.
Just a little bit.
Earlier.
There we go.
Did. Just a tiny bit. To be fair, Veno did a lot for us. Veno did our weekly Booga hate. He had some words to say about Booga, so we got everything in there.
Did he talk shit in the Middle East region as well, or
unfortunately not?
He did inadvertently by just not mentioning them. So it's like, he gave them all the attention they deserve. All right then. So with that being said, we have the top 5 game this week. I know everyone's favorite part of the show, where we will be discovering or figuring out who amongst us here on the podcast, and by us I mean you three, has the best Fortnite knowledge. That is the
We need a
great.
leaderboard. I didn't see it in the comments. We need someone tracking.
Yeah,
them.
someone go back and watch the episodes and give us a leaderboard. You know, it's one of those things, right, where like really the audience should just do all the work. You know, everyone's
Yeah,
always,
exactly.
everyone's always like,
100%.
where's the timestamps, Levin? If you really want it that bad, just one of you do it. You know what I mean? Like, and same with leaderboard. Someone go find the leaderboard. This
And give
week's
us
question of the
money.
week.
There you go.
Yeah.
For your comments, of course. Yeah.
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 Look, this week's question of the week is a fun one. And it's one that I think will be a bit hard, but maybe if you think about it, you'll get it. But you don't have much time to think. This week's question of the week for the top 5 game is: which duo spent the longest time on high ground in the 2024 FNTS majors?
Ooh.
All regions. Which duos?
Oh wait,
spent-
not
Oh, no,
globals.
I
I
thought
was
not
thinking
globals.
globals.
Not
yeah.
globals. During the
Oh,
majors, during
fuck.
major 1, 2, and 3 this year, which duos spent the longest time
Oh,
on
you-
high ground?
Okay, so
Pause
it's
the
not
video
individuals, right? Yeah,
It's not individual
No, it's
players.
duos. Yeah. If you're watching at home, pause the video now, guess in the comment section below, and let us know what you guessed.
You might have to give us some time for this one.
Yeah.
Have
yeah.
have a bit of a think. This week's question of the week to you is brought by the wonderful Prodigy Analytics, which is why we have a really cool stat here of like
Oh,
the
that is-
time.
Oh, yeah, that's,
spent
I
on
was,
How
I
do
was
you
just
high
thinking,
ground.
how the hell did you
Yeah.
figure that
Yeah,
out?
yeah. Prodigy, you know, geniuses over there, man. I don't know. How they
That's
do
interesting.
stuff.
Well, if he calculated by like elevation math, it's just maybe there's a team on a mountain, you know, that like we can.
No,
see
I'm guessing
the
it's
odds here.
Stop
They'll be
trying to-
higher than other
stop-
players.
Look,
You're Nathan
look,
and CZB
look.
at Grand Glacier. Like, come on.
Look,
CB and Nathan, yeah, cooking.
Yeah.
stop trying to like get your stop trying to overthink this here. You know, it's
Okay,
like
okay.
in end games, who's the one team on high ground the longest all throughout the year? Think about different regions. I will give you guys a hint here to help you because I know some of these answers will be bad. Every region is represented except for one, because obviously it's 5 and there's 6 regions.
Oh, okay. So it's,
So there is a team
um,
from every single region in this top 5.
Oh,
So with
what's
that
their
being
name?
said, that actually should actually help you. Because when you start thinking about the
yeah.
smaller regions, there's not many teams in a lot of those smaller regions who it could be.
I don't know. I don't know who won some of
You
the
just have to.
regions.
Who's watching? You know the Asian FNCS and seeing who's there. Who's
That means
watching Brazil
that means
FNCS,
Asia's
you know?
confirmed. Yeah.
Who's
I'm
watching
trying to
Brazil
remember who did-
FNCS?
This has got to be across multiple seasons as well. I'm
Yeah,
if
that's
if you
hard,
win
it's
it-
like, I can't
if you win
remember-
FNCS, you're not necessarily just winning from height either.
Exactly.
Fuck,
So
I'm just gonna
across
have to-
all 3.
Mm,
Do we have anybody
Have-
locked yet?
mm,
Okay,
I don't know.
I've
There
got
you go.
4 out of 5. I got 4 out of 5. I need one more.
I
This
just
is
put
so
yeah.
good. This is-
I'm trying to remember the fucking regions. Hold on. I can't even remember the region.
you got
Oh.
OC,
Remember New Zealand is real.
Brazil. Oh my.
Brazil. There's EU. There's NA.
Am I gonna put them? Yeah, I will. I don't even. I've never watched them. I've
I
never
couldn't
watched
think of
them.
an Asia team. That's why I just put Brazil. Fuck it.
All right.
I need. Hold on. I'm
I
missing
didn't-
2 here.
I didn't put. I'll say in a second what region I didn't put. But that's a good hint. That helps.
I think
'cause was
there's an
about to
easy
put-
region not to put for this, but I don't know if
There
it's
isn't.
actually
I
an easy
think
region
there's-
not to put for this. Maybe I'm overthinking it here.
I think I know what you mean, but I put that region.
I think I know what you're thinking, but maybe I don't
Hmm.
know what you're thinking. All right. You guys
Oh
all
my
locked?
god, I put the
No,
wrong EU
hold on,
team.
wait.
Okay, I put the wrong
Hmm.
EU team. Actually, did I?
Uh,
think I
Reese, we're
did.
gonna have to give you we're gonna have to give you a time limit here. You got
Give me-
about 10 seconds.
who? I
To
there's
get your
one
last
team I
team,
just can't fucking remember, man.
Epic
What
World,
first?
that's the one, man.
Yeah, Epic World. Clicks.
Yeah, clicks,
always
yeah,
on.
clicks.
Okay,
and
right, I'm just gonna
Veno,
go.
yeah.
I'm just gonna put. Yeah.
Resub and DJ.
Yeah.
2,
I'm putting the last one in. Put the last one in.
1. There you go. All right. Who
Okay,
locked first? Was it Harry?
No boop. I
I
think.
think I logged first, yeah.
Usually Boot looks first a lot. Boot looks first a lot. Okay,
I'm a
Boot.
quick
What
thinker.
was your top 5 this week?
So my top 5 was Peanut Butter and Pollo. I think that one's probably very obvious. Second one is Calgamer and Haman, because like apparently they're fucking crazy. Alex and Worthy because they've won OCE, but they had an NA region, which makes me think that's actually wrong now.
That's
Swizzy and Thomas HG because they're a high team, but now make me think that actually Swizzy and Vanya is probably correct there. And then King and Phaser, but that actually because they spent the time in EU as well. So basically I'm fucked is what I'm now realizing.
yeah.
I think
I was gonna say.
Ooh.
All right. I'll go next. I feel like I have a slightly better chance, but I don't have a clue. So I've got Pierbot and Pollo in first, Calgame and Haman in second. I got Tinker and Daneth. Now, I don't know if they play tight. I know they won the second season. I'm just going to hope they played the first season. Because I was trying to think of teams that played the 3 seasons together.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't put you, because if I'm thinking Malibuca and Mursash, they don't play height, and Queasy and Thomas did bad throughout the majors. So I was trying, I didn't think, and Swizzy and Vanek, they only played 2 seasons, because Swizzy played with Putrick first season, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't put them in there. Cause
so then I put...
Saved.
I
And
put
there was
Napoleon-
Globals, which they didn't... Well, because he...
Yeah.
Well,
Was
that's not
Cal?
duo playing at then. I don't know.
No, Globals
Wow.
doesn't count. Globals doesn't
Okay,
count.
yeah,
okay,
Majors,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so then I put Napoleon and Koyota from the Asia region, and then I put Purser and Ed in my spot as the Brazilian representative.
Okay. Reese, what was your top 5?
So I went with a couple different ones. Peterbot Poyo, Calgamer Haman, of course.
Oh,
I went Phaser and King, but I actually forgot that they were in the EU for the season.
Yeah.
So that's probably not right. Kazi and Aspect.
That's the better
who
team.
were-
That's the better
Yeah, they
one.
were the ones who were top 3 every region, 1-1. And then I think Coyote and Mapoli were the ones who were top 3 every... I will try to get the Asia team at the end who was top like 3 every single one. I can't remember who it was. Let me actually check my spreadsheet. I'm probably wrong. I don't think that's Coyote. Was it?
They came first, second.
Yeah, they did. They were second,
and
third,
second.
first. So that might be a cook, but I don't know if they were a height team. So
They do play high. I've watched he plays. He likes to play a lot of high. That's
Okay,
why
okay.
I was...
Okay.
I don't know if he's the one.
This is really interesting. Okay.
Don't tell me you have a tiebreaker. Surely not.
So,
Definitely wrong.
I can reveal that all of you got 3 points.
No,
no way.
You all got 3 teams right.
So it's Piabot Poyo, Calgamer Haman, and then it's just what each of us have got one of the last 3 each.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So, this week's top 5, in 5th place, this one was a surprise one for me. And maybe it just speaks to how dominant they were on their region when they were there. It's Alex and Worthy. Alex and Worthy
Really?
spent...
Wow.
I
Two
knew
FNCSs.
Yeah, they
In
spent...
2 FNCSs, that's
they,
crazy.
Yeah, they spent the
yeah.
5th most
I
time
thought
on height.
Kazi
So,
was
Kazi and
Yeah.
Aspects were high up in one of these high ground, mid ground, low ground rankings. They were actually the number 1 team on low ground in all of the worlds. This
Save
year.
that for next
Interesting.
week.
Yeah, they were
Nice.
number 1.
got that.
In 4th place was Haman and Cal Gamer.
4.
They
right?
spent, yeah,
Only
they spent,
4th.
they spent the 4th most time on height of all the teams around the world. A lot of you guys, all of you guys had them in 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where they were. In 3rd place, the surprise one that none of you got, Swizzy and Vanya.
No
Really?
way! Two in
Damn
2
it.
FNC.
2 majors.
They-
Dang.
Wow.
It's
I
the
mean-
wings,
2
bro.
majors.
It's Major 1 they was on high every game, I swear.
Yeah, they were on height literally all the time. In number 2, though, this is where you cooked the Asians themselves,
Yes.
Napoli and Coyota.
Go, baby.
number
Nice,
2.
nice.
And in number 1, no surprises, Peterbot and Poyo
Yeah.
on height.
Do you know how far
Nah,
ahead, like how much more time Peterbot and Poyo spent on height than...
Surprisingly, it wasn't a lot when I looked at it. Maybe I have it.
Really?
up
Then
still.
Swizzy and that's
Let
crazy.
me see.
Do you have to get the tiebreaker? Who's got like the next? Do you have like a list of like who's next on the leaderboard?
I can check, but so here it was like 28 minutes for Peterbot and Poyo, and Coyota and Mapoli 26 minutes. So not that much
Right,
longer.
okay, right.
26 minutes?
Yeah, like
Is that-
because it's in end games, right? So it's like in
Yeah.
end game, the amount of time in total that they spent on high ground.
So it's like one more end game difference.
Right.
Mm.
I like how Harry's not winning this tiebreaker. So last week he said that we should just do whoever placed the highest.
No, that
One, which would be me winning this time. But now suddenly
No,
it's like,
if that's
who guessed 6th through to 10th the best?
well, you know
which
what?
was not
That's
part of the question.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to do ranking,
I
you
mean,
can
it
take
should be
I was-
whoever did it first, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
That's how it works in every other
I was
tournament,
just interested because this is a cool stat.
It's-
Like I
Yeah,
it's
that's an
weird,
interesting one.
but I don't know how best to do this tiebreaker here. I never anticipate you guys to actually get tiebreakers, and then you do.
we get them
so I just
every
sort of
week
wing
now,
it.
so we
Yeah.
need
We
it.
now
Literally,
we
we
need
have
an
an every
official
week.
way to deal with these tiebreakers. If I'm doing it how I did it last week, I think technically Harry wins again.
Nah,
that's
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah, because
Yes.
so Boop, you had Alex and Worthy 3rd, but they were actually
Yeah.
5th. Cal Gamer and Haman were you had them second, and they were actually fourth. But he had Kagema and Haman second and fourth, but he had Napoli and Kyoto fourth, but they were actually second. So like he had them higher.
I had the close.
You had it close. He had it closer.
So Reese, you want to change to the other way? Do you want to do the 6 through 10? I think it's that way.
And then the
Yeah.
same thing
No, I
applies
don't
for
think I
Reese,
went on
but
that either.
Reese had them lower. I don't know. We'll figure it
Harry
out.
didn't mention EU, which is kind of weird, you know. So
Because I thought it was
What
so
I said,
competitive.
I actually thought that was the. I didn't mention EU for that as well, where I thought a team wasn't surely spending that much time on high. It would have been Queasy Thomas or Swizzy Vanyat, but then I just thought, well, they're not playing one season well. Like, you know, Queasy Thomas stunk up a season, and then Vanya and Swizzy weren't playing one together. So I was like, surely on smaller regions, they spend more time on height for one of these teams who was dominating, but apparently not.
Yeah, we need an official tiebreaker. We need.
I vote for first one to answer because that's how it works in any other game show type of thing, you know. Just unbiased.
Let us know in the comments below how you want us to do with this tiebreaker.
But then we have to redo all of the tiebreakers so that
we
get
have to
the
go back in
scoring.
history. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Can someone do that for us? Yeah.
Someone
Someone
just
do
on the
it.
listeners.
Yeah.
On the
Guys,
listeners.
give us money. Go back and watch the old quizzes. Do everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of things.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go back through all of our 24 episodes, check our top 5 game, take all of those scores, add them up with your own tiebreakers, and make sure it's in a $10 super chat.
$50. It was $50.
Yeah.
on that.
$50.
$50.
Yeah.
Remember,
There
it's
you go.
top
Yeah,
donator.
come on.
You know, it's not set money. In
the-
what are you gonna say, Bit?
There was one thing we didn't talk about, and Epic Fortnite just tweeted it. Siphon is 50 HP instead of 40 today. Huge changes for the Evo Cup.
Wow,
True, very
massive.
true.
Yeah,
More
massive
weeks of the
changes.
Siphon trials. But quickly then, what did you make of week 1 of Siphon trials?
It was alright.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Once
It
you,
made rank
once you
better.
play, you actually notice it. When I watch it, I didn't
Yeah.
notice it at all, other than in the finals when there were heal-offs. But when you play, I'm like, holy shit, this actually matters. So
Your
yeah, it's
8
pretty
kills
good.
in solos. We're not getting this gimmick of 8 kills in solos means
Hey,
the Siphon
Like,
mattered.
how many? VC qualify EU, I qualify Middle East and EU. Like, you can't even compare it, man. Like the Siphon.
I
streak,
mean,
it's
I
World Cup
outfragged
boot,
you. I
baby.
outfragged you on EU. You know,
Did you?
that's all. Yeah, I got 12. 12 kills, huge, big
Yeah, but because you were
performance.
killing kids in low elo because you couldn't, get to high elo. I won my second game. It
point-
was crazy.
Yeah, points check real quick. But anyway, apart from that,
Jesus.
Battle of the
what-
not
what-
even mid.
What's everyone got going on this week? We'll start with you, Reese boy.
I'm trying to fight off the mosquitoes in my house. As you can see, I've had this big red spot on my head.
we shut up,
which
punch up.
No. I am allergic to mosquitoes, and there was one sitting in my flat in my bedroom last night. And I called Bella to close the door because I had the pillow ready to smash it, and she walks in and just tries to kill it herself. Misses. Devastating. As she was going towards it, I was like, no. I was like, slow motion, no, because I knew she'd fuck it up. And as soon as you swing in it, it just vanishes into the
goes,
ether.
yeah,
It disappears. Fuming. I came back in after a walk, saw it on the wall again, the little bastard. Took the pillow, and as I went to swing it, it just flew off again. So it was in the. So basically, I went and stayed in this room last night because I'm allergic to mosquitoes. This is they like swell up massive and all this
Fucking
kind
hell.
of shit.
You need one
Yeah.
of these, lads.
I actually do need one of them.
You
Oh my
need
goodness.
The executioner, it's called.
Ooh,
Fucking
okay,
hell.
I'm gonna-
Bro,
I'm gonna have to get
commentates
myself one of them.
Wimbledon one time, and now he's a tennis racket.
So yeah, over
That's
the
a
next
joke.
few days, I will be waging a war against all mosquitoes in London. So that's probably
Well,
gonna be-
actually, you just reminded me when I asked this. Somebody in the comments on Spotify did actually say, "Can you guys tell me what Solo Superstars is?" So, Risa, can you tell that lovely viewer what Solo Superstars is?
You absolutely can. Basically, Solo Superstars is group coaching held by myself, Destiny's Jesus. Currently, we also have Zycoma and who else is doing?
Blood
Sven.
X.
Sven right now.
Oh.
So that's our weekly rotation of live coaching services that we have. And then we have filler sessions also from we had one from Raz, Blood X did one last week, and it's a monthly subscription. There you go. We're not sponsoring this program, but there we are. Boop said before we went live that he was logging in and watching ones, and that's
Yeah.
why he
Wow.
qualified. So there you
Hey,
go.
if
We
you
are
want to watch a
currently-
free one, it's a Noble every week, for free.
Really?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
What's
we are
Noble? Can you
partners.
tell us
What,
what Noble is?
Oh
my
my.
God. Noble is the tier 1 premier practice experience in Europe. Join 550,000 members. You heard that right. 1,000 members in the prime time practice experience with no griefers, great progression through the ranks, the only place place in EU and all the other regions where you as an average player can move up the ranks and become a better Fortnite player. Join Noble today. You can watch solo superstars with sessions like VSub. You can use code Noble for 15% off. That's a deal of a life. That's the most discount you could ever get. I get a cut of that. That's why I'm mentioning it. So, go there and practice. Become the best version you can be before trios. Wink.
There you go. What
He's
sales
so
pitch?
serious about practice, and he won't even invite me or Eleven to it.
I've
So there
invited
you
you
go.
to get
There you
the
go.
bottom place, bottom 10 the whole time. So get better.
No, but yeah, we got to practice and improve. Like, how are we going to improve? Typical boot gatekeeping practice. It's how it is.
Literally saved practice, but okay.
No gatekeeping. That's what the conspiracy theorists are telling me. That's
Actually,
what
I
I'm
have read that before. Yeah, someone's like,
Yeah.
dude, what Epic should really just like ban boot because like he gatekeeps people's practice. Like, motherfucker, there hasn't been practice for the average shitter in years, and now you have it.
True.
Something's gonna happen even more for that, so the average shitter can play even more practice.
So if you found my old account, unfortunately, you found my old account. I was the one tweeting that.
Harry,
Sad-
what are you going to sell out today?
I would sell something out, but just subscribe. Just listen to the podcast. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and comment down below. Help us out a lot without having to spend any money.
5 stars, $5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outside of the super chat, of course.
Yeah. Apart from the super.
I mean, if you want to leave a super chat, you can leave a super chat. It's fine. We're not complaining.
What are you doing, Levin, this next week?
I am trying to get my life together. I'm feeling